Also, John Mahama's portion of Ghana's credit debt stock, same as that of President Akufo-Addo, Dr. George Domfe says.
Okay, then we go to the Daily Statesman. Big story here. Stop supervising NDC chaos. Majority leader takes speaker to task. And Bawumia launches My Credit Score for Ghana. President assures Western region more development under Bawumia. And DUA Lord Trump projects MPP win in Ghana.
Then we'll go on to the Daily Searchlight. You are destroying the lives of farmers whilst you celebrate Farmers' Day. Interesting. Hey. That's a story on page 2. Rousing reception for Alan Tremantin in the northern region. Also, UPSA graduates 5,274 students, names new lecture hall after Dr. Yao Osei Edutrum. That's such an honor. Again, election 2024 news. Paga youth to stay off for fear of violence. That's a story on page 9. And lastly, MPP seeks recall of Parliament Dodges Chamber. That's also a story on page 2. And that is it for the Daily Searchlight.
Mamli, Ghanaian Observer.
The Ghanaian Observer says Bawumia launches My Credit Score platform. I think this story is on most of the front page of the big story. Akufo-Addo, Bawumia epitomizes integrity.
Go up there and read that one too. You serve the Akufo-Addo story. Yes, read it.
Selfless leadership. Akufo-Addo says, okay.
Go up there.
Akufo-Addo, purpose.
Poo-poos. We are swerving the word. Say.
NDC's 24-hour economy policy.
Okay, that's good.
And Bagbin adjourns Parliament indefinitely.
Okay, lawyer, Daily Post.
We'll do the Daily Post, okay? Lectures in Ashanti region throw support behind John Mahama. Also, Franklin Kujo gives Bawumia the badge of economic dishonor. Again, Speaker adjourns Parliament indefinitely again as MPs fail to show up. And lastly, residents of Sekondi Takoradi call for removal of life-size statue of Akufo-Addo from current location. That's the stories on the Daily Post.
Family, the
Inquisitor. Police personnel jubilate. That is on the front page of the Inquisitor. It says dismissal of case against Deputy IGP. Napo is a genuine promise keeper. Yana saying this. Why we boycotted Parliament for the second time? Afenyomakin explains.
On high alert. Palace invasion backfires as community takes down troublemakers. Bawumia launches My Credit Score. Mahama congratulates Trump on his re-election. MPP congratulates President-elect Donald Trump on election victory. Ghanaians mad at MPs as Speaker adjourns Parliament again. Afenyomakin slam Speaker. That is the front page of the Republic Press 7. The Republic.
Okay, we go to the Daily Graphic. Can MPP take over Kiye seat? NDC sure of victory. My Credit Score unveiled as third credit reference bureau. That's a story trending everywhere. And also, Parliament adjourns again. Government business still hangs. And lastly, demonstrate true statesmanship. This is Afenyomakin telling the Speaker on page 13. That is it for the Daily Graphic.
Okay, so I go online and pick some stories here, starting with our very own zmultimedia.com. Electrochem Ghana to create 3,200 jobs in Adan is here. And then Piak unhappy over declining oil fund allocation to industrial sector, story by our very own Isaac Edu. These are some of the stories you will find on the homepage of zmultimedia.com. Let's go elsewhere. Let's try mindjoyonline.com. What is the story here? GRA has become a terrorist organization. Alassane Andani critiques tax regime. And that is a huge headline here on the homepage of mindjoyonline.com. Going to citynewsroom.com. Big story here as well. Francis Sosu, 4 other MPs introduce bill to abolish tax on betting winnings. That is here. Let's go international. BBC. Still, Trump picks White House chief of staff. as control of Congress hangs in the balance. President-elect begins to assemble his senior team while counting continues in some crucial House races. The Senate is already gone to the Republicans, so now we're going to the House of Reps, seeing what happens there as well. It's hanging in the balance. And then another story on the homepage of BBC. Putin hails courageous, in quotes, Trump after election win. Okay, and then CNN, what Trump's victory means for China. It's a big story here. Beijing is bracing for what could be a volatile and highly unpredictable path ahead in its escalating great power rivalry with Washington. It's also here. Let's go to Al Jazeera. Middle East issues still pending here. More than 100 people killed in Israeli airstrikes across Gaza and Lebanon. And top diplomats of Israel, Netherlands discuss Amsterdam incident is also here. And then where did Harris and her campaign go wrong? U.S. election results. Beyond abortion rights, why did Kamala Harris lose women's votes? That is also here. Trump elected president. What happens to the court cases against him? Many stories all around Trump's victory and also issues in the Middle East. Ladies, what is your pick?
Oh, let's talk about my credit score. I think it's a news that is trending everywhere. I'll just pick a short passage from my Joy Online, and Vice President, presidential candidate of MPP, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, right, has launched my credit score, a personalized credit reference and scoring system for Ghanaians. So this is backed by the central government, and it offers individual Ghanaians the opportunity to demonstrate their credit worthiness transparently, helping them access credit more easily. So this launch happened on Thursday, and he has described the credit scoring system as a momentous occasion and a step forward in building the dynamic credit economy for Ghana. Now, it is a solution to the long-standing lending challenges, and it introduces a critical tool that transforms access to credit in Ghana, and it also addresses the long-standing challenges relating to lending and borrowing. So if I get it correctly, it's basically to help individuals determine their credit worthiness, whether they are able to have access to more funds. And I think, I don't know how that would work in Ghana, but it's a good thing. We are heading towards the American system gradually and gradually. Digitalization. So it's a story that's running all around, and I think it's a good thing. We hope to see how its implementation will take place, if it's an app, if it's a system that you log in. So it's interesting to see how this will roll out. That's my opinion on the credit score system.
My credit score, Ghana. Yeah. Okay, I mean, I don't have the heart to wait, so I'm going there right now to check. mycreditscore.com.gh. So you go there, it has a beautiful homepage. Hello Ghana, it's time for a new credit economy. Then you have a red button here that said activate my credit score. So what you would do is you are required to provide your Ghana ID number and a still photograph and a live photograph for verification. This will take a few seconds, and so you put your face in it, and then what happens after that? You start building your credit score now. You drop in your Ghana card, and then you activate something, and all that. Okay, let's see how it works. The vice president said he's using, what does he call it? He's using digitalization to solve our problems. That's good to know. Anyway, in a groundbreaking step towards financial inclusion and economic empowerment, Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia has launched My Credit Score, Ghana's first individual credit scoring platform. This transformative initiative seeks to modernize Ghana's financial ecosystem by offering a 3-digit credit score for each user, allowing financial institutions, landlords and employers, and other service providers to evaluate creditworthiness swiftly and reliably. Okay, So when you go somewhere, you say, I want to rent, then the landlord will just go into my credit score.
I think it's also because now our bank accounts have all been linked to our Ghana cards. So we know your, I like to put it, your net worth as an individual. And we know your inflows, we know your outflows. So I think, well, in a long run, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. But then again, also creates a potential problem also for these fraudsters.
Exactly.
In what way?
Yeah, because now that everything is now the fraudsters are very smart. Once they get access to
how do we protect?
You know, because once you have your Ghana card, it's like you have access to all your financials, which is really alarming.
From mobile money to your bank.
And you know, I think the noise about the how powerful the Ghana card has not really been drummed into our ears, because when you are even registering for your insurance for your car or for anything, they use your Ghana card and you readily give it out. So what confidence do you have that this Ghana card detail that you've used to register all your bank accounts that you're giving out to these people, they will not turn around, use that information to your detriment? So I think there should be some form of structures in place, to protect this Ghana card details that is really going around. Yeah, so I think that's.
I mean, for me, the part that sort of excites me is that it is a Ghanaian company. As a company founded by Ghanaian entrepreneurs, we know well how difficult it is to start anything. So this is a solution by Ghanaians for Ghanaians, and I'm looking at the board of directors, and they seem to be a very powerful bunch. So let's see how it goes. It's a good thing. We're on the right track.
Yeah, it's on the right. Parliament.
Okay.
Yes, please go ahead.
I was about to talk about the Parliament, the majority leaders' issue with Speaker of Parliament. It says that. So I'm taking this from the custodian.
Okay.
It says, Bagbin is setting Ghana on fire. Majority leader says, let me take it verbatim. It says, the majority leader in Parliament, Mr. Alexander Fenyo-Markins, has accused Speaker Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagbin of promoting disorder in the House by allowing what he described as lawlessness by the members of the opposition NDC. And the part that interests me is about parliamentary business. It says that no pay for workers. Mr. Fenyo-Markins accused the minority of deliberately obstructing government business. He warned that public servants might not receive their salaries if their impasse is not resolved soon.
I think.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday, I think Ken also touched on it. Ken Ejapon touched on it, that there must be some approvals.
Yes.
So if Parliament doesn't go.
And I hear people say that this issue in Parliament is going to affect the NPP more than the NDC because they have business to run. But at the end of the day, looking at this story, it's going to affect other people. It's going to affect not only politicians, but it's going to affect even the ordinary Ghanaian. And I think that Parliament should find a way to resolve this.
I'm wondering what exactly was the reason why they failed to show up.
So minority has occupied the seat
This is excuse my language, childish.
What do you mean by that?
Why are you saying that?
We have serious issues as a country to discuss. And we are discussing who is supposed to sit at the left and at the right. I don't think that we are taking the issues regarding our country seriously. It's like going to a classroom and saying that because someone is sitting at my place,
so
I won't go to school.
I won't go to school.
You're saying the MPs should have gone to sit at the minority side.
You are the fact that you're sitting at the left or at the right.
It's a big deal to them.
Oh, come on.
No, because according to Kennedy's statement, he said they were in a caucus meeting, and then after that, it took a while. So they decided that, okay, after it was done, they decided that he, together with the leaders of his decided to go engage the speaker.
Okay.
Right? Unfortunately, when the speaker had already, Parliament was in session, and the MPP guys, NDC guys were sitting on their seats, so they came back and that was it. So it wasn't as if they boycotted, but they wanted to engage the speaker.
You wanted
first.
to engage the speaker, but you
before.
know that there was business to be conducted in Parliament. What prevents you from sitting at whichever side after the parliamentary session, after you've conducted business regarding citizens of this country? Then you can go ahead and engage the speaker. I don't know.
Maybe they wanted to engage the speaker before.
Lawyer, why?
Oh,
Why?
Because maybe their meeting has something to do with what they're going to talk about in Parliament.
I'm just waiting for a crop of parliamentarians that will put the country first for once.
So this one, they are putting who first?
They are putting themselves first, and they are, excuse my language, big egos first. Honestly, that's what they are doing. They are putting themselves first. When they are, and you said there was something that was supposed, there was business to be conducted.
There's parliamentary business.
I don't know if we can have parliamentarians that can hit their chest and say, like Donald Trump, like Donald Trump, that I love this country so much that I'm willing to do this and this for the country. I don't think so. It's quite sad. It's really quite sad. And you know, because the parliamentarians are not directly affected financially by this, they don't see the impact of it on the citizens in general.
Because this is going to, according to Affinio Markets, is going to affect workers.
So this is what Claudia doesn't want to hear. According to him, that is Affinio Markin, the Council of State held meetings with the Speaker. And as the majority leader and leader of government business, I had the opportunity to also meet with them. The understanding I had from the meeting was that Mr. Speaker would direct the NDC minority to sit at their right place, which is the left of Mr. Speaker. You know, like left and right.
No, it doesn't.
And in the final, on the last day, the Lord called and said, all the goats go to my left and all the sheep go to my right. Left or right is very important. What are you saying?
It's really here nor there. When you go to class, when you were in lectures, University of Ghana, sometimes you go, someone is sitting on your seat. You say that because someone is sitting on your seat, you sit and be educated. If you don't sit and you be educated, then you'll be there. If you knew that the responsibility that behoves on you was to work for citizens, I don't think whether you sit on top or you even stand during parliamentary sessions would be a problem for you. Honestly, I'm very sad at this trajectory of events that's happening with people we have appointed and voted for.
Addressing a presser on Wednesday, Mr. Bagbin said the sitting arrangement by members was not part of his responsibilities as Speaker.
Thank you.
Describing the majority and minority status as archaic.
Very archaic.
It is not part of the duties of a Speaker to decide where an MP should be in Parliament. That determination in Ghana's constitution doesn't exist.
It does not.
In various parliaments, these things we are talking about, majority and minority, don't exist any longer. That is why in my ruling I use the term old school, which is a British model, the government and opposition. You can sit anywhere, but the numbers determine who is the majority and who is the minority. In our parliament, the practice is for those who constitute the majority to sit on the right side of the Speaker and those who constitute the minority to sit on the left side. So, Claudia, your argument is that, like the Speaker is saying,
you can sit anywhere.
You can sit anywhere.
You can sit anywhere and just do what you're expected to do. I don't think that the parliamentarians have job description and they have KPIs to meet. If they had job description and they had KPIs to meet, they wouldn't be letting trivial things like these be of concern to them.
Okay. All right. Mamele, moving on from Parliament.
I am happy to hear what's happening in America.
Oh, okay. You were happy the woman lost?
I'm just excited about how it turned out. Because everyone thought it was going in a particular way. And this is a big comeback for Donald John Trump Jr.
Yeah, DJT. DJT.
And I mean, one of the happiest men in America right now would be Elon Musk.
Yeah.
The happiest man in America right
now. He
now.
threw his support
behind
a winning party. It was a big gamble.
It was a big gamble. America is a place to be right now.
He knew something we didn't know. Yeah, for him to throw his support behind Trump.
I don't know.
Elon Musk might have known something.
I keep telling people that, for the past 4 years when the Biden administration was in, Trump was quite on the low.
Yeah.
And just before, getting ready, and he just comes and he wins massively.
Yeah, this was a sweep.
Massively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, right from the onset, we knew where he was headed. It was, I mean, if you go on Google and you just type the U.S. election, you just see red.
Yes.
It was so massive, and it's such, and I mean, I think that, I mean, I was just excited.
It's one of the, I mean, in recent history, it's one of the most straightforward wins.
So then the question is, what are Americans saying?
Yeah, I mean, they prefer Trump. That's what they're saying.
Wow. Clearly. Wow.
Yeah, but then we outside America we look at Trump the man,
Yeah.
but they don't look at Trump the man.
Yeah.
Right. It is what he says and what he's going to do. And like yesterday, I was reading out to Saka, a chunk of the things were economic. Box of eggs, baby.
Yeah.
Crate of eggs would win you this thing. So for us here, I think the learnings is a crate of eggs.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a crate of eggs question.
It's about the economy.
Yeah,
It's about because I was listening to a few interviews, and the whites, I think on social media, I realized that the typical whites, like whites, they are excited that he's won, and they have said we are going to get richer.
Oh.
And you see, there is this other angle to it. The Christian evangelicals who threw their support behind Trump.
Paula White. I have to mention Paula White.
Yeah, because these are people who are looking at the two parties and saying, listen, where we are headed as a country,
This is what
we need somebody to rope us back. I mean, otherwise, Charlie,
and it's necessary.
It's very, and I think also that's why some Ghanaians who are, and I remember I put on my status that America is back to two genders.
Yeah, exactly.
All these other genders, they should just know that
they should sleep.
I mean, Trump is coming
and
for them.
It's also important because America has, I know the way or the line in which America toes a lot, the whole universe, or let me say the whole world tends to toe in that line.
Yeah.
So when America says something is
straight,
exactly, everyone tends to toe. And I think one of the reasons why this whole LGBTQ discussion has become so profound in Ghana is because of what was happening in America. If that was not happening in America, no one would be talking about LGBTQ plus non-binary. I mean, there are people who call themselves non-binary. They don't identify as a man or a woman. They refer to them as they. And it was becoming quite quite troubling.
I mean, it's important that these things happen. Occasionally, systems correct themselves. So for us, let's wait and see and its effect on.
And just lastly, before we go, it's interesting to know that both major political parties are all throwing their support. I think one of the political parties described them as their sister.
Yes, yeah. I've been seeing some videos on social media.
Party, and I'm wondering, so which of the political parties, NPP, is it for Republicans or Democrats? But it's interesting to know. I mean, the past few days have been quite exciting for me to follow how
the political parties are following.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much, ladies, for coming through this Friday. As always, it's exciting to have lawyer Claudia here. My producer herself joined me. It's top of the hour, like 4 minutes to the top of the hour. We stole in a minute of his time, but he's patient enough. His name is Lukman Evergreen.
This is positive. Williams, Kudus, the Korean joy did not last for long.
Oh my gosh, Kudus.
Set back for Partey. Oh yes, Thomas Partey.
Hello, good morning. It's time for sports on Business Breakfast on Zed. My name is Lukman. Evergreen moment. Of course, the Black Stars return to action next week with games in the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers. There's been some changes with regards to the leadership of the team. We'll be looking at that, as well as some European football matches that were played last night. Finally, Manchester United won a game in Europe, and then there is some tennis news as well as NBA news for you this morning. All right, we begin in the camp of the senior national team, the Black Stars of Ghana, and Arsenal star Thomas Partey has been dropped from the Black Stars squad for the games against Angola and Niger in the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers in November. Now, Otuado named the 25-man squad for the final two matches in Group F of the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers, and Partey, who missed last month's doubleheader after failing to travel to Ghana due to illness, was omitted from the squad despite being fit for the games against for Arsenal games. Meanwhile, the former Borussia Dortmund player handed 3 home-based players an invite for those two matches. FC Samatex Isaac Afo retained his place in the squad, while Emmanuel Entry of Kumasi Asante Kotoko and Razak Simpson of Nations FC received their first invite. Also making a return to the team is goalkeeper Abdul Manaf Nuruddin, with Frederick Asari losing his place in the squad. Here is Otoado explaining Partey's absence.
In advance. I had a confidential talk with Thomas. I'm a coach who always likes to protect the players. So I hope for your understanding. For me, the team is like family, and I'm not coming out with internal issues. But I made quite clear to him he wanted to come. So this one first, he wanted to come. But I made quite clear that why he's not coming. Like I said, it's confidential. It's difficult for me to mention all the things. It's like that. We have.
That was the coach of the Black Stars on why he excluded Thomas Partey from the squad for the upcoming games. Meanwhile, there's been some change in the leadership of the team ahead of those final two games. Mohamed Kudus, who captained the team during the games against Sudan last month, following the absence of Arsenal star Thomas Partey, has been excused from the leadership duties. Now, Ado has dropped Thomas Partey for those matches against Angola and Niger, while Andre Ayew is yet to make a return to the team since March 2024. Now, ahead of those games, the former Black Stars player has named Jordan Ayew as the captain of the team, with Alexander Jiku and Mohamed Kudus as his deputies.
Who made Kudus the captain that time because Thomas was not there. And now, as we know, Thomas is not there for the next two games. We made the decision at the end, I decided to take a new captain for the team, which will be Jordan. So I talked to Kudus for him to understand that for me, he still needs to learn and grow into that role. And I want him to be second captain alongside Jiku. But Jordan will take over from now, and he will lead and guide the team.
Well, so Jordan Ayew will be leading the team for the game against Angola and Niger. Hopefully, Ghana will get the opportunity to qualify. That is only if Sudan loses their two final matches of Group F. Well, still with the Black Stars defender Gideon Mensah has shared how Black Stars captain Andre Ayew helped him make his World Cup debut in Qatar. The France-based left-back made his first appearance at the global showpiece in Ghana's victory over South Korea. Mensah excelled at the left side of defense but was later replaced in the match after picking a knock. And here is Mensah speaking about that experience.
During the warming up, the captain, Didayu, came to me, and then like it was like head to head, like his head was like right in front of my forehead, and then he was like, "Listen, you've been working for this, and then this is the moment where you need to show. Everybody's watching you. You can't make no mistake. No, make no mistake, but you can't let them down." That was something that really helped me a lot, because that was like during the warming up, and after that speech that he had with me, it was like I forgot about anything. Being on the field, I didn't think about whoever was watching the game. I was just focused on the game. I had a good game, made an assist in that game. To go to the next World Cup, definitely. I mean, that's like one of the best experiences I've had in my career. Obviously, I've played like in front of like many fans and then big games against big clubs and all of that. But World Cup is something that I think every player wants to play. It's a great feeling for every player to play there. So if I can even have the chance to go for 4 times, 5 times, why not? I'll grab it and just work on it and go.
Well, so that was Gideon Mensah wanting to play at more World Cups after that experience in Qatar. Also, Ghanaian players abroad, and Inaki Williams scored a wall-taking strike on Thursday night to propel Atletico Bilbao to a 2-1 comeback victory over Ludogorets in the Europa League. Now, Everton are reportedly interested in signing Ghanaian defender Tariq Lamptey on a free transfer at the end of the season should his contract with Brighton and Hove Albion expire. Now, Lamptey is eager to leave Brighton, where he has struggled to regain a regular spot in the team after battling with injuries in recent years. Now to results from the European League matches that were played yesterday. That is the Europa League. Amad Diallo's second half double gave Manchester United the win they needed over Greek champions POAK to secure their first win of the competition. And in other matches last night, Victor Osimhen scored twice as Galatasaray defeated Tottenham by 3-2 in Turkey. Inaki Williams inspired Atletico Bilbao to a 2-1 win at Ludogorets, and Fenerbahce suffered a 3-1 defeat to AZ Alkmaar. Lyon shared the spoils with Hoffenheim in Germany, and Ajax thrashed Maccabi Tel Aviv by 5-0. In the Conference League, Chelsea recorded the biggest Europa Conference League victory as they crashed Armenian side FC Noah by 8-0. Now the Blues, playing a completely different team to their last Premier League game, led 6-0 at the break and added 2 more in the second half of that match. Also, Barcelona defender Pau Kobasi is fined after requiring 10 stitches to close a cut on his face, says manager Hansi Flick. Remember, the player picked an injury during that game between Barcelona and Red Star Belgrade. And in tennis, defending champion Iga Swiatek has been knocked out of the WTA finals in Saudi Arabia after group rival Barbora Krejcikova beat Coco Gauff to secure her place in the semi-finals. The Polish second seed Swiatek thrashed the Russians Daria Kachetkina 6-1, 6-love in her final group match, but was still relying on Gauff doing her a favor in Riyadh. However, Wimbledon champion Krejcikova won 7-5, 6-4, having saved 4 break points in the game, where she eventually served out the match to move into the knockout stage of the competition at the expense of Swiatek. Well, finally, to results from the NBA matches that were played last night. The Minnesota Timberwolves defeated the Chicago Bulls by 135-119. And finally, the Milwaukee Bucks are back to winning games. They defeated the Utah Jazz by 123-100. And of course, the San Antonio Spurs also defeated the Portland Trail Blazers by 118-105. Well, that'll be all for sports this morning. Up next is the business news with Abdullahi Saka.
Stay tuned to your lifestyle, leisure, and business radio.
Hello and welcome to the business news segment on Business Breakfast on Zed. I am Saka Abdullahi. Coming up, high inflation in Ghana driven by a persistent currency depreciation, says IFS economist. The Ghana Stock Exchange saw notable activity in the fourth trading session of the week, and internationally, U.S. cuts interest rates as Trump election raises uncertainty. Now the details. Economist at the Institute for Fiscal Studies, IFS, has highlighted that persistent inflation in Ghana is as a consequence of the ongoing economic crisis and the recurring depreciation of the Ghana cedi. According to Mr. Mensah, Ghana's economic struggle, exacerbated by exchange rate instability, is the primary factor sustaining high inflation rates, a trend he said has been particularly prominent over the last 3 years.
The persistence of high inflation up to this point is really a product of the crisis that we have been through and which we have not recovered from fully. And the exchange rate is a main culprit, of the inflation persistence. So far this year, the cedi has depreciated by almost 30%. Last year, too, depreciated by almost 30%. In 2022, too, depreciated by almost 30%. So for 3 consecutive years, the exchange rate has depreciated per annum by around 30%, which is something we haven't seen since the 90s. Now, that rate of exchange rate depreciation is obviously going to amplify inflation. And in the October numbers, you find that the month-on-month rate of non-food inflation was quite significant, about 1%, whereas the month-on-month rate of food inflation was 0.3%. So the instability of the exchange rate is the main culprit of the inflation persistence.
That was economist Leslie Mensah. The Ghana Stock Exchange saw notable activity in the fourth trading session of the week, with the GSE Composite Index rising by 1.17%, marking an impressive year-to-date gain of 45.60%. The GSE Financial Stock Index, however, held steady, maintaining its own significant year-to-date growth of 19.07%. Tessa Capital has more.
Welcome to a recap of the markets, brought to you by Tessa Capital Limited. In the fourth trading session of the week, the Ghana Stock Exchange witnessed an uptick in its benchmark index. The GSE Composite Index increased by 1.17%, closing at 4,610.96 points, with a year-to-date gain of 45.60%, while the GSE Financial Stock Index remained unchanged at 2,264.25 points, showing a year-to-date growth of 19.07%. Market capitalization increased by 0.60%, reaching 103.21 billion cedis, representing 39.67% year-to-date growth. MTN Ghana gained 5 pesos to close the session at 2 cedis 35 pesos per share, while the exchange-traded fund New Gold declined by 16 cedis 93 pesos, closing at 427 cedis 7 pesos per share. Trading volume saw a sharp reduction, decreasing by 58.86% to 174,846 shares, generating a total value of 323,336 cedis and 36 pesos. Cal Bank dominated activity, accounting for 93.81% of total trading volume. On the currency front, the Ghana cedi strengthened against the major trading currencies. It gained 1.35% against the US dollar to close at 16 cedis 20 pesos, which represents a 26.67% year-to-date depreciation. Against the British pound, the cedi appreciated by 0.40% to 21 cedis 6 pesos, reflecting a 28.17% decline year-to-date. The cedi gained 0.60% against the euro to close at 17 cedis 52 pesos, with a year-to-date depreciation of 25.11%. This brings our review to an end, and from all of us at Tessa Capital, make it a great day. Visit us online at tessacapital.com or call us on 050-154-6859 for more information. Tessa Capital, grow your wealth.
Tessa Capital is a leading financial institution in Ghana, and we're grateful for those market updates. On the international scene, the United States Federal Reserve has reduced its key interest rate again amid new uncertainties following Donald Trump's presidential election victory. The cut brings the lending rate to a range of 4.5% to 4.75%, marking the second consecutive reduction after the Fed lowered rates in September for the first time in over 4 years. This move signals the Fed's confidence that inflation is stabilizing. While economists had anticipated further rate cuts in the coming months, Trump's proposed tax cuts, immigration changes, and tariffs could put upward pressure on inflation and increase government borrowing, potentially complicating rate forecasts. U.S. debt interest rates have already risen this week, reflecting these concerns. The Fed's key rate serves as a benchmark for lending across the economy, affecting interest rates on credit cards, mortgages, and other loans. After a rapid increase in rates in 2022 to counter inflation, which brought the Fed's rate to about 5.3%, borrowing costs have been at their highest in 2 decades. The latest 0.25 percentage point cut announced on Thursday was largely anticipated by markets. That is all we have for business this morning on Business Breakfast on Zed. Remember, you can find more business news on www.zmultimedia.com. I am Saka Abdullahi. Thanks for listening.
Stay tuned to your lifestyle, leisure, and business radio.
Tuned to this very dial.
For each one of them, fact-checked business information is all they seek.
Well, I believe knowing about the strength of the cedi, the best investment options, and the entire global market is something my business people will appreciate.
For every other news about flights, shipping, and cargo on the segment Transport Today, we've got it all covered.
Tune in to Business Breakfast on Zed 101.9 FM, Monday through to Friday from 6:15 to 10 a.m. Join the show using the hashtag BBZ on all social media platforms. Business Breakfast on Zed. We only speak business.
Of exhilarating fun, refreshing thrills, and endless splashes at the Marina Water Park inside Lakeside. With a wide array of water attractions, you are guaranteed an unforgettable experience for the whole family. Open Saturdays 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Sundays 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Call 0508-598-948 or 0204-775-044. Follow us on all socials at Lakeside Marina Park. Marina Water Park. Love the experience.
Hello, fun!
Train to Inspire Consultancy brings you the first of its kind, the Mindset Revolution Africa Conference and Book Launch, an event you do not want to miss. This is happening on Saturday, 9th November 2024 at 8:30 a.m. at CSIR near 37 Military Hospital or Alliance Française. The theme for the conference is Developing the Mindset You Need to Succeed in Africa. If you have any questions or want to sponsor this program, please contact Oscar Bimpong on 0555 803 924. This program is powered by Zed Multimedia, Maya Villa, Totachi Ghana, Databytes, and SCS Delivery. Lock the date on your calendar and see you on the 9th of November.
Stay tuned to your lifestyle, leisure, and business radio.
It's your lifestyle, leisure, and business radio.
listen for these guys because they were supposed to be the new edition of the Jackson 5. Did you know that? New edition. Group after Michael and the brothers, they wanted a group that would take the place of the Jackson 5. So the name New Edition is New Edition of the Jackson 5. And that is why Ralph Trevor's voice was very prominent in these songs. Why? Because Ralph actually sounded a bit like Michael. So listen. Yeah, that's your music lesson, the history for this morning. Right about now, we're going back to school. We call it Business Briefs right here on Zed in the mornings. Oh, sorry, BBZ. Hashtag BBZ on all platforms. Anyway, you want to join us on our conversation, 0544 321019, 0544 321019. Yeah, I've never said that before. 0544 321019. That's a nice way to put it. 0544 321019. Send us a WhatsApp. What do you think of the new look Business Breakfast on Zed coming on the backs of Zed in the morning? And then also you can also put in your comments on our socials, Instagram, Facebook, X. The handle is at ZFMGH. On TikTok and YouTube is at Zed Multimedia. The website is zedmultimedia.com. Right about now, we're going to school. It's Business Briefs right here on Business Breakfast on Zed. 48 Laws of Power coming up. Money, 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 money. Today we are on Law 29, Business Lessons from the 48 Laws of Power. Law 29. Plan all the way to the end. That's a good advice. This one, we take it just like that. Plan all the way to the end. Let's see what it means. Let's read the judgment. The ending is everything. Plan all the way to it. Taking into account all the possible consequences, obstacles, and twists of fortune that might reverse your hard work and give the glory to others. By planning to the end, you will not be overwhelmed by circumstances and you will know when to stop. Gently guide fortune and help determine the future by thinking far ahead. Yes, this one is good advice on every front. One of the things you want to do is when you're planning, plan to the end. Don't be known as a person who planned, got into the middle and got confused and didn't know whether I was going left or right. Ensure that you have a total plan. So, of course, for at the macro level, this is the call for a good business plan. But at the micro level, you also need to have a good life plan. You need to have a good life plan. You need to know what is happening. You need to understand the plans you have for your life, your future. What is it that, where do you see yourself? And I'm going to tell you a story to go with this. Yeah, I have a number of stories. Been there, done that. We've seen it all. I recall there was a time when we had the recruits, if I could say that. And, as always, we're organizing a training for them. And being the Mr. Customer Service at the time, I was still to run a training on customer service and service experience for them. So yes, I get in there and I'm doing a training. We're having a good time. And then I realized that the room became stiff. I tend to see who had entered. My boss had entered. The chief executive himself had entered. He greets the staff and says, how's the training going? He said, oh, everything is going well. Then he said, okay, where do you see yourself in 10 years? All of you. Can you tell me one by one? The place was tense, because this is the managing director of the whole organization coming in to ask this question. So people started, I see myself having, there are politically correct ways of saying these things. In 10 years' time, I see myself, maybe heading the department. I should have obtained my master's. Everybody's saying something nice. Then, after everyone has spoken, he turns to me and said, are these the people you recruited? You were on the interview panel, were you not? I said, yes, sir. He said, I'm very disappointed. I said, oh, sir, these were the very best we got. He said, yeah, I read your report, but I'm disappointed. How come of everybody in this room, of all the people you recruited and put there, none will say that in 10 years' time they want my job? How come none of them could see way ahead to say that in 10 years' time they would have risen to be the MD of this organization? I was like, oh, say. Because me cried out, why would I be thinking of your job before you come and fire me? Anyway, so that was my MD. He said, listen, when you planning, plan ahead. And so I like this law. Plan all the way to the end. What do you see the end as? And then when you get to the end, you start bringing it back for you. So you use the strategy they call back from the future planning. Back from the future planning. You want to see the ideal end, and then now you break it down all the way to your present. That is a good law. Law 29. Plan all the way to the end. We love this law. We accept this law from Robert Greene. To make his point, he uses one of my favorite all-time authors, Aesop's fables. He uses one of them. 2 frogs dwelt in the same pool. 2 frogs, apotro. The pool being dried up under the summer's heat, they left it and set out together to seek another home. As they went along, they chanced to pass a deep well, amply supplied with water. On seeing which, one of the frogs said to the other, let us descend and make our abode in this well. It will furnish us with shelter and food. The other replied with greater caution, but suppose the water should fail us, how can we get out again from so great a depth? That was a smart frog. In the pond, if the water dried, they could come out. But in the well, if the water dried, how were they coming out? The other frog was seeing the water and he got excited. But the smarter frog saw the well and realized that the depth of the well could worry them. Do nothing without regarding the final consequences. That is the advice for today. Plan ahead. Anyway, this is Business Briefs, the TGI Triple F edition of your favorite experience on morning radio. We call it BBZ, Business Breakfast on Zed.
For flight 378.
Ignition sequence.
When you hear that, know definitely that it is Transports Today right here. I would like Saka, welcome back.
Mr. Ham, thank you.
Okay. What is happening in the air above our heads, on the roads around us, the highways and the byways, and our waterways as well?
All right, let's take the flight schedule for today. Today being 8th November 2024. And if you want to fly, if you're looking at flying today from Accra to Kumasi, you want to go spend the weekend in Kumasi, or you have some business to do over the weekend in Kumasi, then you may want to pay attention to the flight schedule so that you know exactly which flights will best suit you. Let's start from Passion Air. So Passion Air's first flight took off this morning at 6:20 a.m. and arrived in Kumasi at 7 a.m. Exactly 7 a.m. in Kumasi. That's a 40-minute flight. And the second flight for the day for Passion Air will take off at 8:50 a.m. and will arrive in Kumasi at 9:40 a.m. The third flight for Passion Air today will take off from Accra at 11:20 a.m. 11:20 a.m. and is due to arrive in Kumasi at exactly midday. Exactly midday. The next flight will take off at 1:40 p.m. 1:40 p.m. for Passion Air. 1:40 p.m. and it's due to arrive in Kumasi at 2:30. So it will take off at 1:40 p.m. and then it will arrive at 2:30. That's a 50-minute flight. Also, the next flight for Passion Air will take off at 4 o'clock, exactly 4 p.m. Exactly 4 p.m. and it will arrive in Kumasi at 4:40 p.m. 4:40 p.m. And the last flight for the day, please take note, the last flight for the day, if you're trying to catch a late flight, then for Passion Air, the last flight for the day takes off at 7:20 p.m. 7:20 p.m. today and is due to land in Kumasi at 8:10 p.m. So that is the last flight for Passion Air today. Let's go to Africa World Airlines. Africa World Airlines, the first flight for the day will take off at 9:40 a.m. this morning. 9:40 a.m. and is due to arrive in Kumasi at 10:20 a.m. 10:20 a.m. The next flight for the day will take off somewhere in the afternoon at 2:10 p.m. in the afternoon, and it would arrive in Kumasi at 2:50 p.m. The next flight for African World Airlines today, which is the third flight, would take off at 4:40 p.m. and is due to arrive at 5:20 p.m. 5:20 p.m. And the last flight, if you're looking to catch a late flight for African World Airlines, it takes off at exactly 7 p.m. and is due to land in Kumasi at 7:40 p.m. So that is the last flight for the day for African World Airlines. As always, take notes. The last flights for the day. If you're looking to fly today and you're busy throughout the day, you want to catch a late flight for Passion Air, the last flight takes off at 7:20 and lands in Kumasi at 8:10. And for Africa World Airlines, it takes off at exactly 7 o'clock p.m. and is due to land in Kumasi at 7:40 p.m. So that is what the flight schedule looks like today.
Have you done an evening flight before?
Yes.
From where to Kumasi to Accra?
It was Kumasi to Accra, and it was late.
9.
No.
You left Kumasi around what time?
I was supposed to leave Kumasi somewhere around 7:30 and then get to Accra at maybe 8:30-ish. But the weather was bad, and I don't know, other issues, because even as the weather became normal, there were other issues. So I ended up getting to Accra around 10:30.
Yeah.
I mean, and that I hate when that happens.
It's terrible.
Yeah,
I've gone through that so many times.
Yeah,
it's just
especially with
terrible.
domestic, and it happens often.
You know,
with our domestic flights,
it's just
happens often.
Terrible.
Sometimes
and
with
for
no
me, because
apparent explanation.
And me, because I would go park at the airport. I know it's just a lecture I'm gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
Right after lunch, they come in. I do maybe an hour of assessment. I'm at the airport. I'm coming back home.
Yeah.
So mostly my flights are supposed to leave around 5, and then the postponement starts.
Yeah.
Oh, 6:30, then 7:30.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm sitting there and I begin to see the lights on the tarmac pop up, I'm like, oh goodness, then someone is far, man. Far, man. Anytime the lights come, I'm like, I had one in Tadi. I like, no, come on, guys, man.
Like we need to really work on those things.
Anyway.
The Ghana time, we are sending it to our aviation too.
Yeah, I mean, you see, the thing about flights, if it works on time like clockwork, it's good. It feels good. Like back.
I know I can plan my day. If I have a meeting, I know I should be able to. Because what's the point? Why would I pay premium money to take a flight, leave all these buses, whatever, STC, OA, VIP, whatever, and say I'm paying for it? Because I want to get there quickly.
Yeah.
You understand? So if the time that between booking, between check-in and take-off is like 4 hours interval.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been better if I just took my bus.
I missed my flight once from Tamale to Accra, and it wasn't because of anything. It was just because my colleague I was traveling with insisted that the branch manager we had gone to do work for in this branch said we should come and eat fufu, and I said, I don't eat fufu, we should go back to Accra. And my colleague said, no, I no go chop fufu, and they prepare fufu specially for her. We should go and chop the fufu. I said, I no go chop, I'll make we go house. She don't mind me. The branch manager too was excited. People from head office had come to visit his region, and they had come to his branch. We go. The woman go hammer fufu, me I no chop because me a ball.
So you were late, basically you were late because of fufu.
Yeah. Now he does Formula 1 from his house to the Tamale airport, and just when we get there,
the plane took off.
Our plane was taxiing.
Oh.
I never bought like that before. Because like once again, my car was at the airport waiting for me.
Yeah.
So now it's overnight and I'm thinking, how much are they going to charge me? Are they going to 24 hours, 48 hours? Well, I was so messed up. Then on top of that, we had to now come to Tamale Township, come buy sponge and paste and brush and
something
massa.
you did not plan.
Just because of fufu. Since then, fufu they bought me more. Anyway, other news.
Yes, let's take other news in the aviation sector. And Emirates Group, one of the biggest airlines in the world, has reported an exceptional financial performance for the first half of 2024-25, achieving a record pre-tax profit of $10.4 billion. Let me take it in dollars. $2.8 billion, despite the newly enacted 9% UAE corporate income tax, which reduced after-tax profits to $2.5 billion.
Charlie, Emirates is well run.
I mean, they're making money.
It's well run. When you are well run, you make money. And Emirates does things boldly. And Charlie, Emirates just the be. I don't know how to describe them.
Yesterday you mentioned that a lot of people do not want to invest in the aviation sector, especially with flying, airlines and all of that, because the profit margins are not that. But this is Emirates making $2.5 billion of profits in the first half of the fiscal year. In the first half of the fiscal year. So
you see why you always need a national flyer. Because if your tourism is booming and you have a flight bringing people in, you go make money.
Yeah,
you go make money. I mean, Charlie, it's business. Run it well and make sure that people are. So we have two things that we should do well if we're going to learn from Emirates. Work so well on our tourism that we would have numbers coming here. I mean, when we say flooding in the sense of the word flooding.
Yeah.
Then that would be what? Demand.
Mm-hmm.
And when demand is there, what's the next
for the
thing?
national
the
flyer.
Supply. So we must work on both, Charlie. Cause the demand to stay, and then this thing will fly. Because Charlie, Emirates a B.
Yeah, and also we should work on when the demand starts coming. Even before the demand, we should work on our domestic airlines. This whole Ghana time, a tourist wants to move from Accra to say Tamale for some tourism, and then they have this experience. It's going to put them off.
Yeah.
And they're going to have a bad, at least everything might be perfect about the country, but they will say, but when I was trying to fly from one place to the other, my flight got delayed by 2 hours or 2 hours, 30 minutes and all of that. It doesn't speak well of us. So, I mean, it's important that we also fix the issues in our local aviation industry.
Yep.
It's very, very important. All those planes that are not befitting, and this is to the local airliners. All the
but Charlie, they are doing their best, man. I've been in a conference with them organized by Aviation Ghana, and Charlie, today get big issues. I was sitting side by side with chief executive of Passion at the time. Charlie, they're doing their very best. So, let's see what happens. That's all right. That's all right. It's 7:45. You have one more story?
Yes, let's take this one too. This is also with Turkish.
Okay.
So it's still on the profit thing. So Turkish Airlines has also reported a 5.4% increase in passenger capacity in the Q3 of 2024. And its revenue has reached $6.6 billion.
Okay. So once again, that there has to be an explanation for that. Why are we all flying to Turkey? Because all of a sudden, what Turkey did and has done so well on the global scene is to start positioning itself as the European China. If you get the analogy I'm trying to say.
If you're trying to go shop for something.
And still there is the thing about Chinese quality. So they are saying, listen, we produce for Europe. We produce for Eastern, we produce for Western. We're sitting in the middle, the Bosphorus, and so we produce to the former Soviet bloc. We're producing to the Western countries. So if you want
also
something,
Middle East,
yes, amazing. They are doing the MENA as well, Middle East and North Africa, MENA, MENA. So brilliant place the Turkey is, and so if they have a national flyer, it's bringing people there directly. Charlie, all these things are linked.
Also look at tourism, how they position Istanbul,
Charlie,
for tourism.
Good boy.
I mean,
somebody's working.
See, I've not met a lot of people that have gone to Turkey or interacted with a lot of people that have gone to Turkey. But just from social media posts, I know that Turkish have some of the best foods. How do I know that? Because they're promoting their tourism.
Someone is branding
through user-generated
Someone is
content
working.
And all of that.
Yep. Someone
so
is branding.
If I have any
working.
free money lying down,
you will go
Turkey.
Turkey.
I'll consider Turkey.
Yeah,
especially Istanbul.
Mamle could go to Turkey.
And there are all these content that show you that Istanbul is, its history of being first a Christian
That's
city.
what I'm saying. It's sitting in the middle, man.
And then it's so rich, and they've promoted it so well.
There are places in Scripture that are still in Turkey.
Yeah.
Right? Paul's journeys went through a lot of Turkey.
Yeah.
Asia Minor.
Yeah.
That's what he used to say. Anyway, we'll take Mamili there. The only problem is that she won't bring any perfume when she comes. Anyway, we'll see. Zed will fly ahead. And your man said he's promising mass deportation. That should worry people.
Yes. He says 2 million.
2 million human beings.
2 million, and he says it's going to be the largest deportation operation in the history of America. The closest was 1.5 billion under, was it Obama? Yes, Obama did 1.5 million. He says he did.
Someone raised the issue of the money, and he said it's not a question of a price tag. It is not really. We have no choice. He's going to sack them.
Yeah, so it's going to cost to him. It's going to cost more money anyway if they stay. So
migrants, please get your documentation ready.
Yeah, if you
big orange.
And to our Ghana brothers who wanted to use the World Cup to Japan, please, your hopes have been killed.
Big oranges in the White House. You better stay cool. Anyway, thank you very much, Saka, for coming through. Right. Coming up, it's customer service and experience moment right here on Business Breakfast on Zed. Yeah, it's a new look, customer satisfaction we're getting you. And this time around, you are the one talking. We just listen and we pass comments on it. So let's listen to Kweku from Adenta. What was his customer service experience like?
My name is Lawson, and I'm based in Adenta. One memorable customer service experience I had was with SpeedOff. I reached out to their customer service, and they did not only respond quickly, but they took time to listen to my problem. They went all their way to ensure the issue was resolved the same day, even following up with me in later to confirm that everything was in order. This experience really left a positive impression. It made me feel valued as a customer and more likely to return. My name is Lawson, and I'm based in Atlanta. One memorable customer service experience I had was with SpeedUp. I reached out to their customer service, and they did not only responded quickly, but they took time to listen to my problem. They went all their way to ensure the issue was resolved the same day, even following up with me in later to confirm that everything was in order. This experience really left a positive impression. It made me feel valued as a customer and more likely to return.
Yeah, so you heard from him, Lawson. From it, it's something that puts a smile on my face as someone who is a customer, a student of excellent service. I think there's an amazing experience that he's spoken about. But you see, it means that there was a problem. He called and he said it was resolved just like that. And you recall the RATER model, RATER. One of the R's was what? Responsiveness. You know, you could solve a customer's problem and a customer won't be happy. Why? You took your sweet time to solve it, and that doesn't do anything for the customer, right? So when it comes to customer service, responsiveness, speedy response is critical. It shows the customer that this organization will drop everything it is doing to just serve myself alone. It's a company that is there for my good self. So yes, it's a positive thing when we hear comments like this coming from you customers. We love it. If you also have an experience, we've already told you, you can send it to us via a voice note, 0544 32 1019. All of a sudden it's sounding good. 32 1019, 0544 32 1019, 0544 32 1019. Send us your message. But it's good to hear positive stuff like this coming from you and all that. And then there is something I also need, a lesson I need to push through. If you have your pens and your papers ready, let's put this through. There is a 5-step process in resolving customer challenges. A 5-step process in resolving customer challenges. It's universally accepted. And so quickly, I'm going to run through that. I have just 3 minutes. I'm going to run through that, and I want you to take notes on that, right? Good. It's an acronym, BLAST. It's an acronym that spells BLAST. What do I mean by BLAST? BLAST. Write it down. We'll come to this subsequently. Just write it down. BLAST. Believe the customer, B. Listen to the customer, L. Apologize, A. Right? Apologize. It's very, very important that you apologize. We'll come to all of that. Satisfy. So it means solve the problem. Satisfy. And then T, obviously, thank you. Thank you. That is very important. So when you have a challenge, please go for these 5 steps. First, believe the customer. Why is believe important? Because the last thing you want is for you to anger the customer by doubting what the customer says. Think about it. Customer comes and said, the food you gave me, it wasn't nice. Are you sure? Everybody said it was nice. So, hey, what's wrong with you? Don't do that. No, believe the customer. He said it's not nice. Customer holds the marking scheme. He said it's not nice. Believe the customer. Now listen to the customer. So what was the issue? Then the customer talks. Don't cut him because you know. Don't cut him because you know. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Why? So that you listen twice and talk once. And then apologize and then satisfy the customer and then thank the customer after, right? It's very important that you follow this acronym. BLAST. That's customer service lesson 101. BLAST. Believe, listen, apologize, satisfy, and thank the customer. Don't say, are you sure? Don't throw doubts in the customer, and listen, and then apologize. And don't say, I didn't do anything. Please apologize. Apologize for what? Apologize if not for whatever. Just apologize for the inconvenience and then satisfy the customer. And when it comes to satisfaction, we'll go in and then that's why every single Monday to Friday, keep your dial here. It's school in session. It's Business Breakfast on Zed. It is an MBA on wheels. If you listen to us for 1 year, you'll be on top of the business game. Anyway, it's 7:55, 5 minutes to the top of the hour. When we come back, we're going into business analysis, market trends, and the rest. Mr. Emmanuel Boatin, Bensford, and the rest will be here. get into what's happening in the market trends, man.
Yeah, it's been an interesting week. Maybe let's start from home. Let's start from Ghana. On Monday, we looked at a few things to begin with. The market had shown some strength, and we forecasted that strength is not sustainable. So towards the end of the week, we may see some bit of fluctuation. I mean, towards the end of the year, but the week in focus, you would first of all observe that, for instance, the Ghana Stock Exchange Composite Index, you see that trade saw some surge. So, for instance, as we speak, by close of yesterday, it was valued at 4,610.96, as against what the week started with, which was 4,556.76. So you can see some upward trend in there.
Okay.
And like we mentioned last week, we saw our gainers and our losers on the Ghana Stock Exchange as at Monday. And I don't think there has been a significant difference. Cowbank was gaining, Ghana Oil Company Limited, MTN Ghana, they were our top gainers. And things have relatively been stable across the individual stocks listed on the exchange. And GCB Bank, for instance, has been very, very, very stable. And overall, the Ghana Stock Exchange Composite Index has demonstrated some level of resilience. You can see some level of stability, if you like to call it that way. And so it is indicating a stable market environment in Ghana. And I mean, that is not far-fetched. You can see things are stable. In finance, in economics, stability doesn't mean 1. No. When the change is so small that it cannot affect economic decisions, we say it is stable.
Okay.
Yeah, so that really is how things are doing in Ghana.
Okay, on the GSC.
Yeah, on the
Great.
GSC.
All right, so internationally?
Yeah, internationally, since Trump won things.
He's about to deport 2 million people.
Why? What have they done?
What have they not done? Illegal immigrants.
Oh, so he's deporting illegal immigrants.
Yes.
But Jerry, if you are the gatekeeper of a country and there are illegal people in there, what would you have done?
If someone told him it was going to cost the US a lot of money, he said it's not a price tag.
Okay. But I'm asking you, if you were the gatekeeper of a country, a certain country, and there are a lot of people residing there illegally, what would you do?
It depends on the mood I'm in.
Your mood is going to determine what action you are going to take.
What's happening internationally? Yeah?
I see.
What's happening internationally?
But I think Trump you too. I don't know if you understand that.
Yeah, he would understand that. I mean,
Trump would understand you too.
Yeah, he will.
But I mean, I think he's doing great. He should keep up. But globally, the Bitcoin cryptocurrency, you can see investors having some confidence in the U.S. economy, although the man has not ascended to the high office yet. But I mean, he's president-elect, and the signal that has given to the global market is something that we can all be, well informed of. And so, global market trends from Yahoo Finance, you can see App Loving Corporation. These are the top gainers globally. These are the top, the top gainers globally. And I mean, these are stocks that people in Ghana, do not even know of, do not invest in, and all of that. So essentially, you can see that some stocks are doing very, very well. They are rising very, very well. You are seeing a 46.27% change in App Loving Corporation. Ion Inc. Incorporation, you are seeing 34.4%, and all of that. These are just stocks that are gaining. And I maybe want to look at a stock that is well known so that people can identify with. Tesla is gaining. Tesla is doing well. I mean, when you mention Tesla, everybody knows what Tesla is. And fairly, you can attribute that to Trump's victory and all of that. Yeah. And maybe let me get into some of the losers, those that are not doing well. And when we say they are losing, it means their prices are falling as against what we expected it to be. It's surprisingly Trump's media and technology group corporation,
DJT,
they are part of the losers.
Oh,
when the news about his win came,
they went up. Yeah, I recall.
So anything that will bring them down will put them in the losing category.
You add them to the
so
losing.
it's not.
Interestingly,
yeah. But you would expect that things will stabilize after some time. I intentionally picked on that because
DJT.
That gives a very good indication. And you can see that the prices of gold too is falling.
Before we go there, there's something interesting that I picked on this morning. Japanese investors aggressively divested their foreign assets holdings in the week to November 2nd.
Yeah.
Ahead of the US election.
Mm-hmm.
What were they afraid of?
Trump will win.
And what would Trump do to them?
It will affect the yen.
Okay.
And that is true. I mean,
so how's the yen performing? The yen is not, it's stable.
No.
It's dropping?
The dollar is
gaining.
Yes, against the yen. And that is correct prediction.
Do Ghanaians do a lot of trade in Japan?
I don't. I doubt.
Yeah.
I mean,
do we do direct importing from Japan?
No,
I doubt it.
I
doubt it.
I doubt it.
Because a lot of the electronics are being sourced from China.
Yeah.
There are Chinese manufacturers who are producing for the major brands that are in Ghana. So, I mean, because Japan known for electronics, if you look at the electronics markets in Ghana, the Chinese brands are making a very strong say here. And then even if it's not an inherently Chinese brand, it's still being manufactured in China. China becoming the factory of the world. And even international brands are going to China to get manufactured. So I don't know about Japan. We're doing big business with Japan anyway.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's something that is of interest. We'll be able to pick on that. Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Other trends in the market as well.
Yeah, commodities. Or you were coming to say
Yeah. I mean, the technology giant Nvidia is still doing big stuff. I mean, it's surpassed the 3.6 trillion market value.
Exactly. These things are easy to, speak about now because you have a good context to directly talk about them.
Nvidia was doing well under Biden. Exactly. It was a big player among the top. And every time Saka came here, we were talking about Nvidia. But now it looks like it's gone way up. And I think it has to do with Trump's victory and the fact that Elon Musk was behind that. And that is a big thing, right?
Yeah, it is.
Reuters reports yesterday that in shares of Nvidia rallied to a record high on Thursday, making the chip maker the first company in history to surpass a stock market value of 3.6 trillion as Wall Street extended a rally sparked by Donald Trump's return to the White House. The dominant AI chip makers' shares rose 2.2%, lifted by broad investor optimism about tax cuts and lower regulations after the Republican candidate's Tuesday's election victory.
Now, that has been a campaign message.
Okay, Trump was ramping on that.
Why is Elon Musk rallying for Trump? Because of tax cuts. And if you even look at it, it's interesting. The tax they are paying is very small. Sometimes I wonder if they were in Ghana, they will leave.
I beg. Don't bring Kwame Nkrumah's
the tax are as little as single digits. I don't even want to mention anything.
Yeah, but if I valued at 3.6 trillion,
3% is something. Yeah, it's a lot of money. But if you were in Ghana, you'll be paying like 25%.
Don't bring Kwame Nkrumah's Ghana. We've moved from local. We're on the international market.
Okay, but so it tells you. But there is something about taxation. You can use taxation to kill your businesses, or you can use it to reap dividends in the future. There is a way you do it.
Educate us.
You can let your businesses breathe It's like
when you say you are talking about government.
Government. So you can let the businesses breathe to the extent that rather than taxing them harshly and all of that, allow them to reinject that money that would have come to you for taxation into the business, so the business can expand and expand and expand and expand. Expansion of a business is not that their buildings will be expanded. No, it is that their profit will be growing.
And they will employ more people.
Exactly. And you know what that is doing? The economy is booming as a result.
You think countries that, we're not mentioning any country, but countries that end up taxing the small businesses that have potential to grow, but they tax them so much that they don't grow, those countries are actually shooting themselves in the foot, or they are eating their future today.
Yeah, that's exactly the point. Because once these companies grow at a certain point in time, Cherry, now they have peaked. You know the product life cycle, business life cycle.
Yeah.
The person has peaked. If you are taxing the person, it doesn't bite. It really doesn't. And that is where you see businesses happy to pay taxes.
Yeah, but here we tax, not here. I mean, in some countries they tax.
Yes.
In some countries.
In some countries, tax policies
they
quite
tax
harsh.
the guy who just had a business idea.
It's like you give birth today,
we tax
you are taxing the baby.
The guy has a business idea, we tax him.
Yeah. We are taxing the business idea.
Yeah, he goes to register. We catch him along the way. Yeah. We hit him with they give what they call valuation or something. I mean.
They place the valuation of the business.
The year they said we expect that you make this amount this year, and then they anyway.
Exactly. Yeah, but contrary to what happens in those countries, you see something else in other parts of.
I mean, interestingly, Wall Street's most valuable companies today.
Yeah.
Nvidia.
Yeah.
Apple.
Yeah.
Microsoft.
Yeah.
What do they all have in common? Tech.
Yeah. So the tech stocks are doing well. I mean, and sometimes I love to say, I mean, our listeners out there get into these stocks, but when you look at the price, it's no joke.
Yeah.
There are stock prices in thousands of dollars.
Yeah, but we have people who can afford, can do it.
Yeah. You can afford, right?
Yeah. Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft. I mean, the big players. Now, Nvidia, you see, so let me give you something to think about. Nvidia's surge has brought it to a place where if you combine the values of Walmart, JP Morgan, Visa, United Health Group, Eli Lilly, and Netflix, Nvidia is still more valuable than all these companies put together.
Combined together. Yeah, it tells you. They've made.
And all they do is produce chips. But because we are going heavy on AI, heavy tech, Nvidia is going to remain there for a long time, because you need an Nvidia chip to be able to get your stuff running.
Yeah, and it's also important to add that Nvidia has been included in the Dow Jones Industrial Average. It has replaced Intel.
Yeah.
In order to better represent the semiconductor industry.
Yeah, Intel was huge, but I mean, Nvidia is doing an amazing job. Maybe one of these days we need to
talk about Nvidia.
Yeah, I mean, but the reason why sometimes I stay away from conversations like that, I always put myself in the shoes of my listeners. Assuming I'm a listener, an average Joe, Charlie, I get job. Yeah, I get job. I'm in a car. It's 8:17. I'm already in the office. I'm listening to Business Breakfast on Zed. These guys are talking about Nvidia, some US company that is making chips and is the richest company in the world with a combined this of $3.7 trillion. And what has that got to do with him? Why should he be concerned? Why should a guy listening at Okanshin or Mokola or Medina, why should he be concerned about a company called Nvidia who is making money?
Yeah, because he can also make money from Nvidia.
Yeah, but you just said that one Nvidia stock shares the guy can't afford it.
Now I think it's around $148.88. They can.
Even Ghana Stock Exchange that we can see where they are. We know where the offices are.
We don't get it.
We don't go and buy.
So the whole point is, yesterday I was watching a movie with someone. The title of the movie is Dump Money.
Okay.
And it's about the stock market. Those are the kind of movies that are nice to watch. And so look at it this way. Mamle, or let's assume a hypothetical person. So Wall Street Journal is saying that this microphone I'm using, maybe it's a company, is valued at 2 cedis per share.
Okay.
Now, I, as an analyst or someone somewhere, is saying that no, I think this microphone is worth more than what they are saying. And in a month or a week's time, the price is going to go up. That is good. To the extent that then let me go and buy this microphone at that 2 cedis. So that in that 1 or 2 weeks' time, when it moves to 10 cedis,
you're there.
I would have earned the difference.
Yep.
Times the amount or the number of shares I've bought. Then that becomes my gain.
Yep.
That's
common sense.
That is one. We call it capital gains. And if this microphone company is a dividend paying company, then at the end of the quarter, at the end of the year, depending on the dividend policy of the microphone company, I'm going to earn some dividend in addition to the capital gains I'm making. And so that is really what happens on the market. So you can hold a short position. That is, you buy it, waiting for the price to go up so that you sell it or you short it, then you make that gains. Or you can hold a long position, saying that I believe this is going to do well in 2, 3, 4 years' time. I hold it, I wait for that long period of time where the price is going to go up, and then I make the gains. So all we are saying is that there are stocks. It represents ownership in the company, shares. So you buy a stock, you buy a share in a company to make gains. It's an investment. When you buy, you've invested in that company. You've invested in a company at a certain price. If the price goes up, you make a gain. If the price falls, you lose. And that is all the market is about. And that is why those who predicted that Trump was going to win could buy a certain stock that they think will be hugely impacted by Trump's victory.
Okay.
So that once he wins, the value of that stock goes up. The person makes that gain. And the person could even sell it that same day and make their gains.
That's true.
That's what we are talking about.
Market performance. You are going there. You are going to go into commodities and stuff.
Yeah. I was going to get into gold. I was making the story of gold falling. Sometimes.
Yeah, gold fell, right?
Yeah. Sometimes I wonder why gold is falling.
Copper fell.
Yeah.
Okay. Brent crude oil?
Crude oil, it did.
It also dipped.
Yeah.
Okay. Who gained?
Natural gas.
Okay.
Yeah, natural gas gained. Wheat fell. Soya beans fell.
Okay.
These are like the major players in there. And they are all falling.
Currencies. Who gained, who lost?
Euro, pound, lost.
Euro dropped, pound dropped, yen gained,
no,
dropped. Okay.
Trump gained.
China?
Stable. No, really, but some marginal loss.
Marginal loss. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So if people have
but that
if people
you
have savings in those currencies, we're just telling them to be, they should know. They should know.
Yes,
they should know.
But then I think these are currencies that are relatively stable.
Now, so what we're saying, listeners, is we are comparing them to the dollar.
US dollar.
Yeah. Not to the Kwame Nkrumah's Ghana cedi.
Oh, I was not even thinking about that.
Too much.
Yeah.
Okay.
And maybe let's get into some of the leading indices, world indices. Yeah.
Okay.
Dow Jones is not doing too well. It's not doing too well. S&P 500 is doing quite well.
Okay.
I mean, it's just Dow Jones that is giving me a bit of concern. The rest of them are relatively stable or doing quite well.
Okay.
And however, Nasdaq 100, which is the indices, the futures, is also not doing well at all.
Do we need to explain what these things are? Not the composites.
Okay.
When we say
a futures or something,
not necessarily. We'll come to the futures, but when we say the stocks, the markets, right? Dow Jones, S&P 500, FTSE 100, Nikkei 225. What are those? What are those?
I think our listeners know about Ghana Stock Exchange.
Okay.
So maybe it will be a good place to start from.
Okay.
So when you say S&P 500, you are talking about 500 leading firms
that have been put together by Standard & Poor's.
Yes.
That is S&P.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
And their performance.
Okay.
Generally. So the aggregate performance of these 500 leading firms. That is what we are talking about. And so if it is falling, then it tells you. So it's likely there are some of the firms in there
that are growing,
that are doing well.
But
however, there may be some others.
The average.
Exactly. That are doing very bad. And so it would. The net effect is that the performance of the overall index is not too good.
So when we say Dow Jones, we want our listeners to also know that the Dow Jones is the prices of the 30 most traded stocks on the NYSE.
Yes, New York Stock Exchange.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that they understand, so that we don't.
Maybe
want
one day we'll get into some of these fundamentals.
Yeah. The last thing I want is to ever get my listeners confused.
No, don't be confused.
Yes, don't use a term that you come and bully us and
I'm not bullying anyone.
Book long things. we don't want any book long things here.
No.
So.
I'm also mindful of those who are more learned than I am.
Yeah. I mean, but me, if you do now, go make we explain now.
Okay,
I don't want trouble. Yes. So when we're talking stocks at that level, we're looking at the big companies there and all that. And so when we talk about the Dow Jones, the 30.
Yeah, 30.
Because that gives you an indication of the entire market.
And it tells you like these are like tops. These are like the top gamers.
Okay.
We are looking. It's more or less like if it was a football league. We are looking at a Champions League teams, not conference.
The one Manchester plays is which one?
I don't even know.
The one Manchester plays what we are talking about, the Europa Conference League, or
maybe you are talking about top.
Yeah, that's Champions League.
You are looking at the big.
Yeah, so Dow Jones is the top 30.
Good.
The Nasdaq is everybody else.
Yes.
The composite of all those that the organizations that are listed on that
exactly.
stock.
When you take New York Stock Exchange, you take Ghana Stock Exchange, when you take those ones, then you are looking at Ghana Stock. You are looking at Ghana Premier League.
Oh, I beg, don't do that analogy.
We are just helping them to appreciate.
They understand.
Okay.
They don't want any other. They don't want any other. They understand.
But I'm looking at the day Ghana will get to the point where we have exchanges for our regions.
Like Kumasi will have
Kumasi Stock Exchange.
Kumasi Stock Exchange.
I mean, this is interesting to hear.
Tamale
we
Stock
have Chicago.
Exchange.
Chicago, New York. I mean, these are.
I understand what you're saying perfectly.
Well developed, and it will really be underpinned by how well we are doing as a country, how well we are driving investor sentiment, how well the country has come to that level of building strong companies and industries that must be listed, where people can invest in these companies. Mind you, when you are investing in these companies, it is your money that is going into these companies for which they are going to work with, and then you gain something on it.
Okay.
Yeah, so it just tells you it must begin from somewhere. We must be able to build strong companies, and that will come against the backdrop that the government or the country itself is doing well overall.
I mean, I would love to hear what Madam Abnamwa would think of what you're saying. I mean, whether it's part of her plans and all that. It will be interesting.
Well.
Tamale Stock Exchange. Then we're looking at the companies that are in Tamale that are doing well, and then like maybe the top 10, top 15, and then Tardy Stock Exchange and all that. Anyway, never heard anybody, I mean,
talk about this. Yeah. Maybe one day we'll get there. Probably when our great-grandchildren are around.
Yeah, so let's see. So the top stocks. Globally, let's look at where they are all stationed. Just to give our listeners some. The Hang Seng is on Hong Kong. Right, the Nikkei 225 is in Japan.
Yeah.
FTSE is UK.
Yeah, UK.
That's the Financial Times, and then S&P. Okay, Nasdaq is in the US.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So just that I want our people to understand. We don't want to confuse anybody. That's good. All right. So next, where else are we going? Okay, you were going to explain futures.
Yes.
What are futures?
So let's think about it this way. I don't want to sound
book.
Yeah.
You don't want to sound book. You go ahead. We understand. Talk to us like we're in class 3.
So, wow. How can I sound? The book is all over.
The book is all over his head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always all over my head.
Yeah. So when we say a futures market, what are we looking at?
So we are looking at a contract, first of all. It's a contract between two parties, essentially where their intention is to hedge against some risk.
Okay.
Good. Now,
So Victor Ado sells maize. Money, the maize prices wouldn't have shot up. So they signed a contract with its effective date in the future.
Yes.
Saying that the maize will go for 1 Ghana per Olonka.
Exactly.
Now, that contract, Mr. Emmanuel Batin has that contract that said that Mr. Ado will sell him the maize at 1 cedi per Olonka in June next year. You're saying that these contracts are then brought to a certain market where participants are buying and selling commodity and future contracts for delivery.
Yeah.
This is what you call the futures market.
Yeah, it is exactly it. So imagine if you go into an agreement with Goil.
Okay.
That one will buy Goil, oil.
Yes.
Fuel.
Yeah. Diesel or super?
Super.
Yeah. Let's use super as example. Yes.
Super.
Yeah.
The price of super today, what is it? Let's assume.
I don't know. My tank fuel no the inside, so I don't know. I don't buy fuel.
Let's just assume 10.
Yeah.
Okay. 10 per liter. Good. And we are saying that in 3 months' time, that price will not be 10 because it can't be 10. It won't happen.
Okay.
The prices of oil change almost every time. Now, Goil, which is Ghana Oil Company Limited, knows that the price could either be up or down.
If it is up and
in the future and they sell
then they
low
lose.
now, they lose.
Okay.
If it is down and they sell
if it goes down then
in the future and they sell high now, they gain.
Okay.
So they know. And me, the one buying it, also I know that if the price I agree upon today to pay for in the future is lower than what the future is again. But if it is higher than what the future would be, I lose. Am I messing it up?
No. So we're looking at two very important things.
Yeah.
Predetermined prices
Yes.
at a specified time in the future.
Yes, predetermined date in the future.
Now, these papers,
Yeah.
which are the contract,
Yeah.
are then sent to a market and people buy them.
Yes, people will go
So
and buy them.
I can walk in and say, give me the paper that said that you will buy super next 2 months
For 14 cedis.
For 14 cedis
per liter.
I'm buying it from you for 13.
Yes.
Praying and hoping
that in the next 3 months or whatever, the price will either be the same
or higher.
That is when I will gain.
Okay.
But if in the future it falls, then
Nobody will
there
touch
was
mine.
no need entering into that contract because I could have waited.
But I, the one who entered into that contract,
Yes.
I would have sold it to you, the Mr.
Exactly.
Risk Taker,
Exactly.
for you to take the risk.
Yes.
And I would have
Yes.
taken the money and gone.
So it's all about hedging against the risk of price fluctuation.
So you are saying that there are people or there are organizations whose job is not necessarily to go into these futures contracts, but they buy the futures contract from people and trade them. It's a whole business.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah. And it's very nice.
But you must understand
the market
exactly
and how things operate. Yeah.
How different is this from the Lotto doctor, the guy who works Lotto in my junction with his friends?
That
under
is
the
a
tree?
randomized risk.
But he's understanding the market. He knows
So
the
we
Lotto.
have a when something is
Are
random.
you saying people don't read Lotto papers?
I'm not saying they don't.
When
but
you see them reading Lotto papers, do you laugh?
what
at
are
them?
the odds? I don't know the numbers, but like it's from 1 to something. Is it 90?
I think 89 or 90. I don't know. I
So
don't know.
what is 1 over 90?
But they're able to tell
No,
you
I'm
that
asking you, what is
in June 2018 on this day,
but it tells
77
you
came.
the kind of risk that is. See, 1 divided by 90 is 0.01.
So what?
Javi, that's 1%.
So
when you
what?
stake Lotto, the chance of you being successful is 1%. What kind of risk is this?
What's wrong with 1%? You mean, in fact, do you know it is 1% if only one number is what you have in mind. However, they stake like 2. Like
so let's increase it 2 over 90.
2 and then they stake like
I
5
think
numbers.
DJ said we should stop talking about it. I don't know if something happened.
He doesn't like Lotto. No, we're talking about futures contracts. I bet
2%, 3%.
Yeah, futures.
It will keep going on as you increase the number you are staking.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I mean,
but we're talking futures contract. Financial derivatives that oblige the buyer to purchase some underlying asset, or it obliges the seller to sell some asset at a predetermined future price.
I shouldn't use textbook. And you are here using textbook.
But predetermined is predetermined.
You use derivatives. It's basically
sorry.
Financial asset that derives its value from an underlying asset.
What listeners would also appreciate is the fact that the thing in your pocket, that strip of paper, that colored paper with some woman's head on it, is a woman's head. Is that a woman's head? Did you find one? Yeah, I did it. The one with the big, it be big 5 or big 6. Big 6.
Big 6.
Yes.
They are big.
Yeah, big 6.
The big men.
The one with the big 6. Those strips of papers actually also qualify sort of like we call them currency.
Yeah.
And a futures contract can actually be currency.
Yes, we can do it on a currency because currencies also have prices and they change.
So I can hold a piece of paper that said that I am obliged to buy super from Girl at a certain price. That piece of paper is money.
Yeah, it's money.
I can give it to you and take something from you.
It's all money. Amazing. It's all money. Yeah, but not too liquid.
Yeah, of course, not too liquid.
And so we have those who hedge against currencies.
Okay.
They could go to a bank and say that I need dollars.
Okay.
But I don't want dollars today. I want dollars after election.
Okay.
For something. Dollar is selling at 17.2 today.
Okay.
I'll buy it at 17.5 after elections. Maybe after election, dollars will be selling for 20 or 25 or even 5.
Mm-hmm.
We all don't know.
I would have gained then.
You would have gained or lost depending on the value.
If dollar dropped.
You know, this is how it works. You are logged in a contract that obligates you to buy or sell at that time.
That's why it's a contract.
If you choose to walk away, you lose the premium you have paid.
Okay.
That premium could either be equal to or less than what you gain or lose, depending on what you signed against, as against relative to.
So these are guys wearing suits, but basically they are all doing cha-cha like everybody else.
I don't call it cha-cha. They are thinking.
Oh, I'm calling it. I have called it cry. It's gone there.
No. I'm changing it. They are thinking.
But the cha-cha guy is not thinking or what?
I don't know. They are thinking. I mean, I don't want to get into cha-cha.
You don't see them for conscience. He's also thinking. He knows that the spa. Charlie.
I guess where you are going to.
Yeah, it's all thinking, man.
No. Finance is not gambling. Okay, well, we say in class that you take a gamble.
I was going to actually get shocked if you were going to say this description you gave is not a definition of gambling.
I think gambling. One of my lecturers sets a questions and he's always using gamble.
It is a gamble.
Like, what am I learning?
You are learning gambling. Software learning gambling.
You take a gamble, but really what we mean is you take a risk.
Oh boy, we gamble.
Right.
Yeah, we gamble because anything could happen.
Yeah, anything could happen.
The company you signed the futures contract with could go down the next day.
Yes, it could. And it could also go up.
Yeah, whatever.
But you know, this whole thing, sometimes I sit and I'm like, wow.
And sometimes the thing about the whole markets conversation is the fact that it is so volatile.
Yes.
If the MD of a company, like if NVIDIA's MD,
you know, Stanchard's MD
gets a code tomorrow,
it affects the market.
NVIDIA's prices would drop.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You know, I think Stanchard's is it director also has resigned. They have a new director
in Ghana here.
Yeah, it was something I planned on.
Okay.
Today is Friday. It was something I planned on talking about. Let me get it right so that our listeners know.
Because the producer is in the studio, she'll get angry with you.
Yes. So Standard Chartered Bank Ghana PLC notification of resignation of a director, one of their directors. Yeah, a director.
And if this was at the global level,
they've appointed another director.
If this was at the global level, it would affect their shares.
Yes, but in Ghana. But Ghana is also at the global level.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much.
And we need to, this whole week we've not spoken about the inflation.
Oh, we haven't?
Oh, no, we haven't. I haven't mentioned it. I don't know who else came onto the show to come and mention
so what,
inflation.
What is it?
We knew inflation was falling, right?
Yeah.
And it saw some uptick, or it went up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we came here on Monday saying that we don't think Ghana is necessarily strong and all of that. It has gone up again.
According to Statistical Service?
According to Statistical Service, according to Bank of Ghana, according to whoever matters. It's now in the 20s.
What does that have to do with my listener sitting at Major?
Oh, we are only telling you that when you compare things now as against some time last year, around the same time, things have gone up. So it was 21.5 in the month of, which month are we in?
November.
So in the month of
October,
it's now 22.1 in the month of.
Is marginal, but it's still going up.
21.5 and 22.1. You think it's marginal?
If it was 25, it would have been crazy, but anyway.
So why am I heavy on this? The target of the government is that inflation end of year is 8% with an asymmetry level of plus or minus 2.
You're saying government can achieve it.
What do you think?
I don't know.
Can you bring inflation down from 22.1 in November to 8 or 10%? So in fact, it means 6 or 10% by end of December. It's not possible. Do you know what that means?
I don't know. I'll think about it after the elections.
Why elections?
Thank you very much for coming through. His name is Mr. Emmanuel Boateng, and we have these kind of conversations outside of the station, and occasionally we bring it into the studios for you to hear the way our minds work. Amazing. Also, have a good weekend.
You too.
Preach for places.
No, I go engagement.
Oh, nice. You're going for an engagement. I'll be with one of the COP assemblies around Latebia Okoshin this week.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm doing
big ups to my would-be couples.
Yeah.
Ima, Idep, and then
I saw you post
Ella.
their pictures.
Yeah.
All we are praying for
Ellen,
is the day you would also post your own pictures.
Oh,
have a good one.
To God be the glory.
Great things he has done.
Yes.
Anyway, it is still Business Breakfast on Zed 101.9 FM. We talk only business. That's all we talk about. Coming up, we have a quick conversation with Mr. Oscar Bimpon on what is happening tomorrow. The Mindset Africa Revolution. The It's two. Yeah, he's here. His name is Mr. Oscar Bimpon. He's a mindset guru, and he's here to talk mindset revolution. And this time around, it's purposeful mindset. He's launching it tomorrow, and it's a morning event. Friends, Mr. Oscar Bimpon, welcome to Zed once again.
Thank you.
So, first of all, we're looking at a book called The Purposeful Mindset, Decoding a Coded Life Beyond the Mindset Revolution. What is and this is supposed to be a follow-up on the first book, Mindset Revolution. So
Yes,
from
sir.
Mindset Revolution, we go to Purposeful Mindset. What is the story behind this book?
All right. Thanks once again, Mr. Ham. It's been... We're still talking, but then it's good to come back to Zed.
Yeah.
So, as you said, the Purposeful Mindset is a sequel to the Mindset Revolution. And the whole ideology is that once your mind is set, then you should have a purpose.
Okay.
But every purpose is coded. Because your purpose is so unique, it's like a gem. Everything that God created that is so unique, that is like a gem. You don't walk on the street and you see it. That is why we don't walk on the street and we see diamonds on the street or we see gold on the street. Because it's very unique.
Okay.
You need to pass through a process for you to unravel it. It's the same with your purpose. Nobody is born with their purpose written on their head. It's a journey of self-discovery.
Okay.
And until you get on that journey, I can bet you're never going to live a fulfilled life. And that is what this book is all about.
You think majority of us are not living fulfilled lives?
I can tell you for fact, but I don't have the statistics. But
Okay.
based on my own experiences, even with friends and family and network, I've seen a lot of lawyers who are not happy in life.
Okay.
I've seen doctors who are not happy. I've seen business people who are not happy. Why are they not happy? But they have got a lucrative job.
Okay.
Because the person who is a medical doctor probably is designed to cook the best fried rice in Accra.
Okay.
So once you miss that purpose, you are more likely not to be fulfilled in life.
Chapter 11, purposefully trading your time for money.
Yes.
What is that supposed to achieve?
So the reason why a lot of people don't really pursue their purpose is that you need to work on your purpose until you get to a certain level where money comes into the picture.
Okay.
So I was listening to UC Bolt one time and he said, they asked him, so what is the most difficult thing about what you do?
Okay.
And he said the most difficult thing is to train for 4 years for a 10 seconds race. So imagine putting in effort of 6 days in a week, morning and evening, training just for a 10 seconds race. How many people can put in that effort? Because it takes a lot of time, energy for you to get to that stage where your purpose starts making money for you. And that is what a lot of people are not ready to do. And that is why a lot of people are doing what they are never fulfilled.
So time is a value we invest in that determines the returns on our efforts. Time is constant and all of us are allocated 24 hours a day. What you do with the time allocated to you in a day will determine the value you create for yourself and your purpose in future. So you're calling for people to be more conscious of their time, or what? I mean,
because time is constant.
Okay.
Time never changes. Some people say I don't have time. No, time is there.
Okay.
You have to create the time. So when you unravel your purpose, then you need to invest in your purpose and not time, because time is there for you. All of us have got 24 hours, including the rich and the poor. What you do with the time is going to determine the results that you get.
Okay.
So if you don't invest in your purpose and you are thinking that you don't have time, then definitely you've missed the plot.
Time. That's a big conversation. do the rich and the poor both use their time the same way?
It's a very critical question.
Yeah, that's what we do here.
Yes.
DJ Fit
You see,
that's what we
you
do
see.
here.
You see, there's a national anthem that I always see the poor saying, and that national anthem is "I don't have time."
Okay.
But the rich.
I'm going to tell you why I asked that question. What I have known working from both sides is the rich jealously guard their time.
Yes.
The poor, I see, waste a lot of it.
Yes.
That is why I know men and women in this town who would pay you not to come and waste their time, because their time is so important to them, and what they do with it, because they know that it is that time they are using to make money. If you came to sit in the rich man's house for 1 hour and chatted with him for an hour, that hour would have earned him
some money.
Thank you.
Some resources.
So he could actually, if that hour would earn him 100,000 Ghana cedis, he can give you 10,000 to go, not to come and worry him.
Of course.
That's why I asked that question.
Yes, but you see, the whole thing is that sometimes you want to get an appointment with a rich guy or somebody who is doing very well, right? Do you see how difficult it is to get that appointment?
Yeah, because their time is important and precious.
And you see, the poor thinks in the poverty mindset that, oh, this person is arrogant.
He's not.
He's not.
He's just guarding his time.
He's just guarding his time. You know, I always say, who is making even the call on your behalf? Do you know that the president of every nation can be in a cabinet meeting and somebody will call them, they will pick the call and they just put the phone face down.
Yeah.
And another person will call and you will excuse the cabinet and say, let me pick this call.
Of course.
Right? It's about the time that is going to be invested in that call. Why did he pick one and why did he not pick one?
I think the key word here is value.
Value. What value are you bringing to the table? That is why should I pick your call? So time is very precious. I think is the differentiator. We all come into this world with no resources. Time is the differentiator that has differentiated everybody or all of us from one person to another. So if you don't invest in your time, there will be no resources, even your network.
You know how your people are using their time? They're watching TikTok videos and laughing.
Yeah.
They're watching Facebook funnies and they're laughing.
Yeah.
And they're spending all their time laughing.
Yes.
But they broke.
Yeah.
If they could turn off those devices and use their time profitably, they would begin to then guard their time.
Yes. But you see, even we can flip it on the hindsight that whilst you are doing comedy there, right? Can you also sell a product or provide a service on a consistent basis such that people get to know that, this guy, like, for example, I'll be on the street and last week I met a guy and he was like, we had a normal chat. Then the next day he sent me a message. I said, are you the Oscar Bimpo that sometimes I hear you on radio? I'm like, what? He said, oh, I like you, the way your interviews and all that. I say, yeah, I'm the one. Like, some people meet me and they forget my name and they are like, are you the mindset guy? Because I'm selling the product. Yeah. So even if they forget my name, they can remember my product. That is why you have to sit. This social media, I think Africans are not taking advantage of. I think we are one of the few continents that is abusing it. Because as we were talking about TikTok.
Yeah, because we are brainwashed to think only as consumers and not as producers. That's our problem. We just think consumers.
We are wired to consume.
That's all.
Yes.
We just consume.
But look at our natural resources.
Yeah. So they come, they take
we
it.
Just have consumption mentality.
Yeah, we have a consumption.
What value have we added to gold all these years?
So the few who are producing are making money.
Of course.
And the rest are just consuming. Happening to our natural resources is now happening to our brains as well.
Yes. And that is the most dangerous aspect when it comes to our brain. That is, we are refusing.
They can take all our trees, but if our minds are working, we'll still survive. But if our minds are not working, if they take our trees, we are dead.
Oh, but Israel has produced a fertile soil out of a desert. When somebody is able to achieve that, and for us, when you throw tomato seeds at the back of your garden, in 3 days, 1 week, you have got tomatoes coming off the ground, and you don't have food to eat, and your food is so expensive, then we've got a long way to go. But one of the things I'm going to say is that one of the most chaos we are having in this world is because many of us are not living our purpose.
Okay.
And I think that energy that has been built up all these years where people are not living their purpose is what has really caused us, because somebody also wants to write a book on mindset, but the person is not wired to do that. So that person, when he starts writing the book, it is not going to be at the level that the person that is designed to do that. So we need to find our purpose. Look at the way you are doing radio effortlessly. Somebody will come and sit in this seat and they will struggle because they are probably not designed to do this. Probably they are designed to really be in production. But because you are sitting in a seat, the person also wants to sit there. You know, purpose is something that I think if we can all do it. Let me give a typical example. My dad is coming for this program. I made him to forward this book. And I saw the way my dad as an assistant director of education and my mom as a teacher struggled.
Okay.
Yeah, to look after 5 siblings. At a point in time, we had 4 of us in boarding school. So if the shooter is done and that day you are not at home, you are done because everybody just takes their own and is finished.
Okay.
So that is how hustling we were hustling. So I told my parents that I would never be a teacher. I have done all the works, all the jobs in this life. I've ended up as a lecturer.
Okay.
Why? Because I have sat down and I've decided that I'm going to stay in the domain of teaching, lecturing, coaching, authoring books, because that is what I'm wired to do. That is what gives me peace. That is what gives me joy. That is what gives me fulfillment. So as I sit here, I'm going to die as a teacher. I have made up my mind that I'm not going to do anything that is not within the domain of that. Even if I'm doing it, people will run it for me who are very good in that field. But for me as a person, I have concluded that's where I'm going to sit. Why? Because at the time, I thought that teaching didn't pay. But then, I've seen the fulfillment I've got from teaching. Imagine when I was coming to Ghana, my students, some of them were crying. Why? Because they've lost a teacher that... Some says, I come to class because of you.
Okay.
Because that is what I do best.
Okay.
And until you sit at that point in your life, you are more likely not to be happy in life.
Okay.
You can be doing all the things, getting all the resources you need, but you are more likely not to be happy.
Okay.
And life is too short for you not to be happy, to be dealing with things that you wake up every morning to go and do that you hate. Imagine a lot of people, you know, there is an article I read where they said about, is it 60 or 70% of US citizens are not happy with their jobs?
Won't be too surprising.
How can such an economy where you can easily change job and people are still stuck in a job that they are not happy?
So what's happening tomorrow?
Tomorrow is the first of its kind Mindset Revolution Africa Conference and the Purposeful Mindset book launch.
Okay.
It's happening at CSIR around Alliance Francaise or the 37 Military Hospital. 8:30 sharp, we have coffee break in the morning. Then by 9:30, we hit the ground running.
Okay.
It is a free event.
But if you don't come early, you can get some of the coffee.
No. Okay. It's for the early birds.
Okay. Interesting.
But you know, everything starts and ends in the mind.
Okay.
Success and failure does not happen outside the domain of your life. It happens in the mind. Some are already defeated before they make a step. So all the complaints, all the worries, all the stress you're going through is all in the mind.
Who are some of the speakers?
So I've got Makia Yamson.
Okay.
That's Ishmael Yamson Associate. I've got Jermaine.
Okay.
I've got Jermaine. He is now handling Global Council. He's the guy that is bringing all the diaspora guys to Ghana.
Okay.
And for them to have a common goal in terms of assistance. And I've got CEO of Jobaman Ghana, Hilda. She's also on the bill. And I've also got one wonderful lady. Her name is Charity, and she runs Minion Foods.
Okay.
And we also got a panel discussion, and of course, my moderator, Jerry Harm.
Okay. Oh, myself
will be in the driving seat.
Oh, you're
steering our face.
Your stool is there, man.
And I want to thank Zed Multimedia for their support in terms of this conference.
Okay.
It's been an amazing journey. Today, I just picked my Finder, and we've been advertised like the last 2-3 weeks in the Finder. The support has been amazing. Thanks to Nana Kantanka for all the support and all the crew. Sinam, it's been an amazing journey. It's been an amazing journey.
Great. So tomorrow, 8:30.
8:30 sharp.
Great.
Hopefully not African time, or the Ghanaian time, but the time.
The time is 8:30. You don't want to miss that. Thank you very much, Mr. Oscar Bimpom, for coming through. Tomorrow we're launching Purposeful Mindset, Decoding a Coded Life Beyond the Mindset Revolution. Let's get so if you're listening to us, you want to see us, we'll be there in all our glory. Thank you so much, Mr. Oscar Bimpon, and congratulations for the book launch. Thank you so much, my brother. Have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow.
And that copy is for you.
Thank you so
much.
I'll
sign it tomorrow when you come.
That'll be fantastic. Thank you so much, my brother. Have a great one.
Too. Take care.
All right. Coming up is our first big conversation for the morning. She's here. She is she's going to be talking about home care. So someone was asking, what is home care? What is home care all about? If you know nothing about home care, you better stay tuned, because we'll be talking to the head of Denmarja Home Care. Her name is Jasmine Jang. The state of home care in Ghana, is there home care going on in Ghana? What is all that about? It's going to be exciting. It's something you don't want to miss. It's getting up to 5 minutes to 9. When we come back, we're talking the state of home care in Ghana, challenges and opportunities. Her name actually happens to be Jasmine Jang. There's a nice ring to it, and she's the head of Denman. I'll find out what that means, where the name comes from, and all that. She's here in the studios with us. We're going to have a great conversation, as always. We're looking at home care in Ghana. The state of home care in this country, it presents a landscape filled with both challenges and opportunities. With the right investments in workforce training, technological and innovations, infrastructure development, there is a significant potential to improve home care services in this country, addressing the barriers to access, particularly in rural areas, and strengthening PPPs, public-private partnerships, can ensure that home care becomes a sustainable and accessible option for many Ghanaians in need. So our conversation today will go into the opportunities and challenges and why it should be given an ultimate priority. Welcome.
Hi, Jerry. Thank you very much.
You good?
I'm good.
You settled? You relaxed?
Yes, I'm relaxed.
Okay, yeah. Let's start with Denmaja Home Care. Where is the name coming from?
Denmaja is a combination of my siblings and our names. So I took the first 3 letters of my male siblings, and then the first 2 letters of my name, and attached it to it to create Denmaja.
Dennis, Mark, and Jasmine.
Nope.
Dennis.
No, you can't. I don't think you guess right. It's Denzel, Marvel, and Jasmine. Yes, Denmaja. Denzel, Marvel, Jasmine.
Okay, and then you started a home care.
Yep.
What is a home care?
It's a service provider which aims at providing quality assistance to individuals who need care.
Okay, so not necessarily the aged.
No.
Anybody who needs care at home.
Anyone who needs care at home. Children, adults, people recovering from accidents. Yeah.
Of all the things you could have done.
I know.
Of all the things you could have done.
I know.
What is the motivation for creating a home care service in Ghana?
Jory, you won't believe this, but when you go through some circumstances, you realize that you actually need some things more than you may actually think you don't. So my dad fell ill.
Okay.
A couple of years ago. And during his recovery stage, we were all, we all wanted to help his recovery stage. Everyone wanted to be there for him. But it got to a time we realized it had become a burden on the family. I had school back then. My mom had to go to work. The people in the house, everyone had something doing.
Okay.
So we started looking for someone to cater for him at home, give him the professional care he needs at home. That was very difficult.
Not just a house help.
No. We
needed professional.
Yes, because he was going through the recovery stage. It was very difficult to find one. And it was quite a burden. So I took it upon myself to create a home care. Yeah. That's
okay. So this was like a personal experience, and then you grew it into oh, wow.
Because it's actually a need when you think about it.
Of course. I mean, the first need was the one you saw at home. So, yeah, it means if your dad was going through a million other Ghanaians.
Is also going through the same
fantastic.
Thing.
Oh, wow. That's good to know. Yeah. But what's your background that made you feel, where did you get the audacity to decide that?
You wouldn't believe it, but I read public relations in school. So I have no connection to
with
healthcare.
Nursing or anything like that?
No.
Oh, wow.
I don't.
I mean, I'm sure by now, having owned a home care, you would understand the basics, the fundamentals. You now know the difference between a syringe and a needle and all that, right?
Yes, that's
but
right.
At the time you were starting, what was the experience like? What were you? Who were you that you went to register and said, I'm starting a home care? You went to get some nurses and all that. Give us a rundown of how this thing started.
I'm not going to lie, but it was very difficult at the time I was starting. I sometimes wanted to give up because I didn't know the head and the tail when it comes to home care. But I did my research. I had people that I communicated with. I made doctor friends, nurses friends, caregivers, and they helped me throughout my process. I also took some classes from some people which aided in me creating this home care company. So that's how come I came about it, and it all started.
Were you hands-on from the beginning in terms of providing the care, or you were just recruiting and putting the people on the field?
I was hands-on, yeah.
Okay.
I was in
you
there.
wore scraps?
Yeah, I did. I have pictures, videos.
And you were not just doing it for PR?
No.
I'm a PR person, so sometimes I everything comes from a PR angle for me.
No, not that.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you start a home care service. What were the big initial challenges?
Public awareness. So not a lot of people know about home care in Ghana, which is kind of a disadvantage, because in the beginning of me creating the home care company, we didn't really have much people coming in or calling in to book our services. So we had to go out and find customers, and we had to preach what home care is to the public. So most of the Ghanaians lack the knowledge when it comes to home care services. And also, I realized in my time of working, that financial constraints was a problem for families. People shy away from home care because they do not have, they believe that home care is very expensive to attain.
Is it not?
It is, but for the major home care, we have a care plan whereby everyone is involved. We are not selective. We have a care plan tailored to people's budgets.
Okay.
So everyone is involved. You can bring your budget and we'll work around your budget. It's mainly about giving care to people. So if because your budget is not up to a certain standard, should we watch your loved ones die or, not get the necessary attention they deserve?
Are there people trained specifically to provide home care services? Or
Yes.
it's just nurses and the average person?
They are nurses and they are caregivers. There's a difference. Some caregivers are not necessarily nurses. They undergo under training to become a caregiver. Some nurses will give the medical aspect of the home care, but they do not have the compassion and empathy to take care of an individual. So in the major home care, we have training every month, even for our current nurses and the new ones who want to come into our company. We train them on how to care for people. We are very selective with the people we select at the end of the day. Because if you don't have the compassion for people, you can't work as a caregiver. You need the compassion, the love, the affection towards them to work as a caregiver.
You're saying that there is an opportunity in this industry, and that rather there is a lack of skilled workforce to provide this service. Is that the situation in Ghana now?
No, there is no lack of skilled workforce, because in Ghana here we see a lot of trained nurses and caregivers coming in and out. We even see a lot of them traveling.
Okay.
In my company, we don't face those challenges. We have a lot of nurses available to deliver the care people need. So the only problem I am seeing right now is the awareness.
Okay.
Yes. It's not the skilled force or caregivers or nurses. Yes, it's the awareness.
I'm asking it because I'm looking at it from a demand and supply place. It is the demand that is not there. The supply is there, but the demand.
Yes.
Because is it cultural? Is it? Have you in your experience? You think it's a cultural thing?
I think it's a cultural thing, because you yourself know in Ghana, we not in Ghana, Ghanaians, we are hospitable. We are loving.
Yeah, we're
we
supposed
tend
to be.
Care for people. It's in our DNA. It's in our nature. So we feel that it's a must or a need for a family member to take care of their loved ones when they are going through crisis. They do not find the need to, venture into other options such as home care. So that's basically why it's like how it is now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I expect you to feel guilty if you sent someone to go look after your mom when you could have stayed at home and looked after your mom.
And as I said, I was taking care of my dad. I was part of the people helping my dad in his recovery stage. I felt the need to do it because
It's
I
your
know
job.
he's my dad and it's my job.
Yeah.
He's taking care of me since I was a child. So it's my job to do so. So in that moment, I wouldn't think of going for a home care until I realized that it was becoming a burden. Not necessarily a burden, but like, I had school. I had to either be late for school or leave class early to come and take care of him. And yeah.
Yeah, I can get that. Because our cultural beliefs and practices normally would influence the acceptance and adoption of these things in our society. But from what you're saying, aside the time constraints on the one who has been left to cater for this person who needs help, what about the issue of expertise? You could give your time to your dad, but if you don't know paracetamol from aspirin, you do more damage.
Yeah.
Is that something you've also noticed in the system?
Yes. So once again, I'll use my dad. Some medications that were given to him, I had no idea about. Like, I didn't even know how to minister those medications. Yes. And it's a big issue. So this is why people need to come in for home cares, because the trained staff are there to cater for them, to monitor them when medication is administered to them. Yeah, it's very necessary and important.
Okay. Talking of trained staff, that brings me to my next question. Like, so is there a regulatory body or that has oversight over home care, or I can just go to Registrar General and register one tomorrow?
No, it's not that easy.
You need whose permission?
HEFRA.
Okay. Okay, so it means that in your setup you must have some medical people in it.
Yes.
Who are those?
General practitioners.
You have general practitioners?
Yes. Nurses and assistants. Yes. Those are the two main people you must have in your company.
And so when you decided to go into that space, what was your business plan? You were going to bring a medical person in to head, or to be what? You were going to be the boss, and what was the plan?
In the beginning, I didn't even know
that you would need.
We needed all these people.
Okay.
So it was, as I was researching, that I got to find out, and then I contacted my doctor friends.
Okay.
And they helped me out. Even some people I submitted to the HEFRA organization were not accepted because you need a general practitioner.
Okay.
To head the company. You need the certificate of a general practitioner.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
HEFRA really works like that.
Yes. They are strict.
Okay. Health facilities and what? Regulatory something? Agency or something like that. Okay. So this person who has the medical qualification and is heading, what is the person's day-to-day role? I mean, because the person might also have his own practice somewhere.
Yeah.
What does a person do on a daily basis?
Well, he comes in if he's needed.
Okay.
Yes. When there are emergencies, that's when they come in, like the general practitioner comes in. And we don't only have a general practitioner, we have psychologists, occupational therapists. Yes, they work hand in hand with the general practitioner. So they all come in when they are needed. Yeah.
To have a home care service in Ghana, do you necessarily need a brick and mortar presence? Do you need an office?
Without an office, you are not going to get the certificate.
Yeah, I asked that because I know HEFRA is heavy on facilities. So
you won't believe it. When I started my home care, I started in my
house, your bedroom.
Hall. I know it sounds like one of those stories, but it's not one of those stories. I read online what you need, and I fixed it all in my dad's dining hall, and I made them come for the inspection. I was totally cancelled.
Oh, wow. They wanted you to have a separate facility.
Yeah, and I didn't understand why I needed to have a facility, because the work is not in the office.
That's why I asked
it's
that
on
question.
The ground.
Yeah, it's
so
in people's homes.
Yeah, why do you need me to have an office?
What did they say?
Well, they told me that it's very necessary to have an office. We need to see that you have the necessary equipment and tools needed for the for the job.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, you need to portray all these things.
Yeah.
Yes, which shows that you are serious about the work.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
Yeah.
I supported them.
Yeah, I support it after.
After you didn't like
really
it. Yeah, and when you liked it, you said,
understand it,
yeah. Because think of it this way: if it was open to everybody, I could set up one, and I wouldn't even need an office, and you know.
And the funny thing is, I never knew people would be coming in to make enquiries. I think that's also why I didn't understand why they needed me to have an office. So when we started business and we had people trooping in and out, it's when I realized that it's actually a necessity. Yeah.
Otherwise,
because how can somebody come to my dining hall?
Yeah.
My father's dining hall, to be precise.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It doesn't really help that way. It doesn't look professional. And people's health is like super important. So you can't. So aside HEFRA, are there other bodies you have to deal with to set up a home care service in Ghana?
Environmental Protection Agency.
EPA comes there to do what?
It's just it's part of the inquiries, the requirements. Sorry.
And my producer is laughing.
Part of the
the way I asked the question because I'm wondering what is
you need a national service certificate. Sorry, not national service. Sorry. We need the
national health.
No. The fire service.
Fire, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So these are some of the bodies you need to.
Wow. How do you determine how much to charge a particular customer or client? Don't give me figures. I mean,
I'm not gonna give you figures.
Yeah,
I mean, our rates are quite affordable. They are very, very affordable. And once again, your affordable may not be another person's affordable.
Yeah.
So as I said earlier on, we have a care plan which tailors people's budgets, for us to work with their budgets.
Oh, interesting. So
I can't really tell you how we get
trade secret.
Yeah, I can't really.
I understand. I mean, the idea behind this segment of the show is to have discussions on the challenges people are going through and anyone listening to us, and we know decision makers, duty bearers, and people in high office listen to us. So the idea is, if they can help, then they help. And then also, if there's someone sitting somewhere listening to us and he's saying, okay, so this is an area I can call the manja and help them with, or I can go partner them or something. That's why some of these things come up.
We are also partnering with NGOs to help us make home care affordable to others.
Oh, okay.
Also, we are in talking terms with the government to help us create more awareness on home care and make it more accessible to people. We would like it if the National Health Insurance plays a major role in home care service, which will also bring down the cost of home care in Ghana.
Oh, okay. Is it an industry, or it is the manja charting a course as a sole or as a lone ranger? Is it an industry? Are there other home care services?
Yes, they are. They are.
Plenty?
Couple. No.
Less than 10?
Okay. Well, per my research, there are quite a number of home cares. Yeah. But not all of them. You can't really get in touch with all of them because I made calls to most of the home cares and their numbers were unavailable. So there are quite a number of home cares, but getting access to them is difficult.
Would it be more than 10?
Oh, yes.
How come the manja is the first I'm hearing of? And I'm not under a stone. I'm actually always out in the public, so I should have heard of them.
Well, I take pride in advertising my company. So that's how come maybe you've heard of Denmaja.
Okay, so now talking of Denmaja and marketing, what were some of the strategies you used to market Denmaja?
Social media was one of our strategies.
Okay.
Yes, we use social media to marketize Denmaja a lot.
Which platforms? And
YouTube,
what were you saying?
YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. What was it saying?
Oh, wait, they were not videos, they were stills.
I had a video. We created an advert.
And you were saying what? Because you're not a nurse.
Fast-paced world, finding quality care can be.
Did you speak in that ad?
Yeah.
And what did you say?
In a fast-paced world, finding quality home care can be overwhelming. But the Maja Home Care.
Oh, okay.
We have.
I thought you start by saying
with a
like,
background
I'm a nurse
acting,
of 10 years experience.
With a background acting, yeah, and we also use word of mouth.
Okay.
Yes. So that's also, when we take care of this.
Your background acting.
No.
There were people behind
actors,
you.
yes,
Actors were
yes,
behind
yes,
you.
yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Nice. So social media, new media then becomes a platform to market things like that. When did you come to the realization that, okay, you know what, this is a business? At what time in this journey, a startup, starting that's all, Hefra bouncing you, going up, and all that. At what time did you realize, okay, we have a business?
I think the first time I got a client.
Okay.
Yes, that was the first time during the week that I marketized my company. Yes, I got my first client.
And it wasn't your dad?
Nope.
Did you ever use...
No.
Oh.
He's well.
Oh, he was well before you started?
Yes.
Oh, so he never experienced
but
the
I
magic.
take care of him, so I still give him the major care.
Yeah, but this one is like that level care. Yeah, I get it.
That, yeah.
So aside that, who was like the first? What was it like? Without mentioning names.
What was it like? I felt proud,
You had a call.
Yeah.
Please, am I talking to Dan Maja?
Yes.
And
it wasn't one of those calls like whereby they'll tell you, I'll get back to you.
Oh, they were hiring you
Ready.
straight on board.
Yeah, and we had them for over a year.
So you get money? Plenty money. Okay, I mean, that's another conversation.
So imagine having your first client for over a year.
That's like retainer levels day one.
Yeah.
Wow.
They talk to us to other people, other families. And we
Okay.
had other families coming in, calling. Yeah.
In terms of the demographics of those you serve, who are you serving a lot more of? The aged, the young, the mid-lifers? Who are you serving more?
The aged.
The aged?
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
The aged. Before, it used to be females, a lot of females.
Okay.
But I think beginning of this year till now, it's been more males than the females.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Men are growing older?
So most of our nurses, our male nurses, weren't really active.
Oh, now...
Yeah, but now the male nurses are active.
So what you map, you match a nurse to a... So you wouldn't send a male nurse to a woman?
Yes.
You would... Is there a reason for that?
Well...
Or is it the Maja policy?
It's a policy.
Okay.
Yes. And we need our clients to feel very comfortable.
Why are you sourcing these nurses and health workers from?
We don't have a specific place that we are sourcing them from. We are opened. Our website is there. Our emails are there. You just send your CV in. We take a look at your CV. We look at your files. When you pass the criteria, you undergo training. When you pass the training, we accept you into our care home.
Okay. So if there's a nurse or there is a doctor out there, please go to Denmark and go and drop your CV.
Yeah.
They might give you a call.
Yes.
And say, we have a customer, you call them customers or clients?
Clients.
I have a client who is in a wheelchair in this area. Mm-hmm. He needs ABC services. And then what? The person leaves, comes to Denmark or goes straight to the person?
No, it doesn't work like that.
What is the system like?
So what happens is we need to go and access the client. We need to go to the client's house. We need to take a look at the client's condition, his way of living or her way of living, what is necessary for them to do in the house before the nurse comes in, and what is necessary for the client himself or herself. Yes, that's the first thing we do. We have these contracts that we sign to make sure that we align with each other.
Okay.
And then the nurse takes it from there.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
But
What are some of the services you'll be providing for the average person, like the average client?
Mobilization.
You're moving them up and down?
Yes.
Okay.
Occupational therapy, psychological therapy. We have personal care.
Like what, bathing them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, some patients are bedridden, so they need excessive care. Yes.
That'll be more expensive.
It's all in the same. There's nothing higher than the other. And as I said, we have a care plan. So your budget, we work around your budget. Yes. We will give you personalized care if you need personalized care.
You cook for them?
Yes, we do cook for them. It depends.
Do you have a client you're cooking for?
Yes.
Based on a person's diet?
Yeah. That's why we have doctors on board.
Wow. Have there been clients that have made requests that you didn't anticipate, so it wasn't part of your contract or expectation? Has there been a client who said, okay, drive me around town, I just want to feel town like?
No. We can accompany you to town, but we will not drive you to town.
Okay.
Yeah, not all the nurses have the license to drive around.
I'm asking that because of the name, home care. And so in my mind, if you go out of the home, is it part of the services?
Yeah, it's for the client.
Yeah.
Anything related to the client. If the client wants to go for a walk, if the client wants to go to the hospital, shopping, anything, you have to go with the client. You must not be away from the client.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Constant care. That's what they are paying for. And attention.
Are there clients that require your staff to sleep in their homes?
Yes. We have living services. So what we do is we provide 24-hour services, living services. We have half days and full days, 12 hours, 6 hours. Yeah. We are 24 hours, so anytime you call us, we are available.
Interesting.
Yeah, as I said, we have a lot of nurses available to give care to people.
Going to somebody's home to care for the person, anything to do with care comes with the word quality.
Yes.
What are the quality assurance or whatever that who does what, so that we ensure that the quality is always there? Because the last thing I want is to hear that the person who came to take care of my mom stole her gold ring.
Yeah.
What do you do? How do you?
So
what are the assurances?
There are police background checks on our nurses, and as I said, our work speaks for itself too. So aside the police background checks, our nurses undergo excessive training for a month. Yes, to know how to cater for the patients in their homes. That's basically it.
So the manager would give you a contract, and then the manager would train you also. Okay, before we unleash you on the
if there's
client.
Any trouble, it comes on the manager. So we need to make sure that you are well equipped, knowledgeable.
Interesting.
Even if you know from wherever you are coming from, you still need to undergo the training.
So that you would appreciate the Den Maja way of doing things.
Exactly.
Okay. Is there a special insurance that comes with home care services? Because I'm thinking if there are, I mean, of course, every business needs some kind of insurance. Is there something special for home care services?
Well, something special for home care services.
Yeah. So if your nurse went in there and broke something, spoiled something, and the client is suing, is there a certain coverage that you are, or you just pay it out of pocket? Has it ever happened?
No, it has never happened.
Okay, so don't see me as a negative
woman.
I'm just asking the questions, right? How has technology played a role in where Den Majas got from there to here? And with technology, I'm asking questions that have to do with supervision and management.
Yes, exactly. So with technology, when it comes to Den Maja, we're able to monetize our staffs. We're able to monetize our staff, and we have a way where family members are able to also monetize their loved ones at home with their caregivers, which makes them feel very connected to their loved ones when they are away or whilst they are away.
By phone? You call?
Yeah.
And
phone.
then what? You say do a video and let me see my mom's
Calls,
face.
yeah, videos. There's an app that we use to monetize.
Oh, there's an app.
Yeah.
What does the app do?
You log into the app, the time you go to the place, when you leave, vital checks are all placed into the app.
Oh, wow. So then the person is able to also go into the app and read
clients,
what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And that's like real time.
Yeah.
Okay. So you'll be at work, but
Yeah, sometimes the supervisor doesn't need to actually go into the homes to check on them. You can just check on them via the app.
Oh, interesting. At least it gives the one who is paying the money some comfort that my mom, my dad, my auntie, my kid is being still on the issue of culture. Under what circumstance would the manager be recruited to care for a kid?
Okay, so
yeah, because I'm asking that because my mom, my dad, I could, let someone look after them, but my kid.
Yeah, people have that nature. Well,
you have kid clients.
Not really.
Okay.
Not really. We are yet to delve into that, so we'll be looking at that also.
Yeah. I'm asking that because I'm thinking, hey, when it comes to kids, mom wants to be there. Dad would want to give that
more attention.
And all that.
And supervision.
Do you work in relations with aside the medical person who is heading the whole organization? Are you working in collaboration with maybe hospitals or something so that there's something ambulance services? How do you work with the medical community as a whole?
So our doctors on board have linked us to their hospitals they work in. We work hand in hand with them for them to provide us those services when the need arises.
Okay.
Yes. So far we haven't had the need for them yet.
Calling an ambulance for a client and all that. Okay. We hope it doesn't get there.
No, we are hoping so.
Yeah. Are there opportunities? So we've dealt with the challenges and all. Are there opportunities within the home care sub-industry, because I'm putting it under health itself? Are there opportunities within this industry that you think others can take advantage of, or you believe with the manager the door is closed?
Yeah, there are several opportunities in working in the home care industries, such as how can I put this?
More people need help.
Yeah, there are more people who need help in our society, so it opens up we have more training programs for caregivers, skilled caregivers to come in and then cater for people, the more people that need the help.
Okay.
Also, what's this called? Sorry. Collaborations.
Okay.
Yes. We have collaboration. We deal in collaborations with NGOs, government, whereby they ensure that they give us the necessary infrastructures and equipment we need for catering.
Talking of partnerships and collaborations, are there international ones that the manager is involved in, or they are all local?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
All local.
Recently, there was an organization we spoke to that said they wanted to. The organization said they actually were looking for a way to partner churches so that they start day care for the aged. Yeah. Would that be something that the manager would want to collaborate or partnership with?
Community services. Yeah, we would like to partner with them. Yeah, I think it's a good opportunity to hop on. Yeah.
Interesting. Let me also find out. So it's almost it's 9:42, and we're having a conversation here with the manager, Denzel, Marvel, and Jasmine.
So
okay. Denmarja home care. It's something that I'm pretty sure people are listening to us and saying, oh, okay, we didn't know there was something like that. But yes, there is. And here at Zed, we are very much interested in having this kind of conversations, just to ensure that we understand what you are also thinking. If there is somebody there who is listening, don't worry, you can go to the website. You can just Google Denmarja. You can find out a lot more about them. We would also be finding out those that need more help. We'll be pushing them there. Why not? We can even do some collaborations with you.
Yes, definitely.
To see how Zed Multimedia can actually help.
Definitely.
How many years experience?
We are in 2 years experience.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. And in the 2 years, off the top of your head, how many clients have you served?
Approximately, we have about 35 clients we've served.
Wow.
Yes, 35 and counting.
Very happy clients.
Yes.
Wow.
I think I work hand in hand with God, so.
Yeah, God is a partner. When God is your partner, you're sorted out.
Everything is perfect.
Yeah. For us, we're heavy on that. So when God is your partner, we sort it out. We also want to find out from you what a team looks like. What is the structure of a home care service vis-a-vis Denmarja Home Care? You have the medical person sitting as a chief executive, and then who?
So the medical person, the practitioner, the nursing assistants.
Okay.
Yes, they are the ones who go around and check if everything is in order. Then we have the admin.
Okay.
Yes. Then our nurses.
Oh, okay.
Follows, yes.
So it's the regular staff are just a few.
Yeah,
but then
nursing assistant and the admin, then the CEO.
Interesting.
Yes.
It is the kind of discussion that I'm always interested in. Any final words? What does the future look like for the industry, and what does the future look like for you?
For Denmarja Home Care, we are looking to build an infrastructure whereby we will bring up families will bring their loved ones in. Yes, which will ease burdens on hospitals and also on the families as well. Yes, and our work speaks for itself once again. So I will entreat everyone to find personal and professional health care for their loved ones in their various homes. And they should be rest assured that the love and the compassion they need or they desire will be given unto them.
Thank you very much, Jasmine Jan, for coming through this morning. It's been an interesting and intriguing conversation. Denmarja Home Care, they're providing home care services for you and your loved ones. And so, and like you heard, there is an opportunity in that space. Thank you so very much. When we come back, we've just about a few minutes before we wrap up for the week, not just for the day, but for the entire week. You should understand that if for nothing at all, this is the first week of the new look morning show on Z101.9 FM. It used to be Z in the morning. Now it's Business Breakfast on Zed. And Business Breakfast is celebrating its first week in existence. And that is cause for us to celebrate. When we come back, we're wrapping up for the week. Yeah, we're not gone yet. We just have a few more minutes. So before we come wrapping up, let's do something from the legend of all times. You call him Wako Jacko. We call him Michael Jackson. We're doing The Girl Is Mine. from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Honorable Fritz Bafo hosts the show called I Have a Story to Tell. You don't want to miss that. It's a kind of show that you listen to great people, doing wonderful stuff, great programming as well there. And then every 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. That is coming up right after this. Is NYA the brand bringing you the brightest side? She's good moments, fine. Trust me, she is. After a hard day's work, you also want to join us here. Why? Because we ride on the best highway you can find this side of the equator. It's Highway 1019, way to Foriwo, you in Gozibuaten, and again, Monday to Friday is 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. as well. And then also on the weekends, on the weekends, every Saturday morning, Time with Prof. Stephen Adai comes your way. And then Saturday evenings, Reggae Cafe with the Diddly D. It's 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. as well. You don't want to miss that also. Did I tell you that Dr. Mensah Tabel is also on this dial? 5:30 a.m. every morning, 5:30 a.m. Start your day right. Talking of pastors and with the word of God, Sundays, that is this coming Sunday, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Don't miss it. Every Sunday, 6 to 10. Keep your dial here. Gospel is his game. DDM is his name. He brings you the best in gospel. Then after him comes the legend of country, Country Express with Tommy and Forsen. It's Sundays 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and also Wednesday 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. All too soon. The time is up. We just have a few more minutes to the top of the hour before NYA the brand comes through. It's been the first week of BBZ, Business Breakfast on Zed. Tell us what you think. Tell us about how you've seen the production so far. 0544-321-019, 0544-321-019. On Instagram, on Facebook, and on X, our handle is at ZFMGH. On TikTok and YouTube, the handle is at Z Multimedia. And the website is zmultimedia.com. You don't want to miss anything. So you tell us, and then we'll listen to you. We care. Yeah, we're here for you. Your lifestyle, leisure, and business radio. If it's going to make you happy, we're going to do it for you within our means. On behalf of the crew, because it's the first week, that's why I'm doing this one. After this week, I won't mention anybody's name again. After this week, you sort yourself out. But on behalf of the group, the whole group behind the show, our head of programs, Mr. Kwesi Esel, Abdullah Saka, Emmanuel Boateng, Bensford Mensah, DJ Pete Wade, who celebrated his birthday the first day the program was, he didn't do anything. On behalf of all those he disappointed, what else can we say? One more person, very, 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 very important. We couldn't miss her. That is our producer extraordinaire, Dinah Mamile Sakite. Wonderful programming. She's been behind us the whole of this week. And also, I'm being told to mention names like Victor Boateng, Bernard Akwa, and those guys. I beg. I'm talking of Dinah Mamile Sakite, our producer. She's done an amazing job for this first week. Anyway, all too soon. Time is up. What else can I leave you with into the weekend? During this weekend as well, pray like it only depends on God. But when you have to work like it only depends on you. BBZ is out for the week. We'll be back next week. My name, Jerry Holm.